Hello. Oh yeah, that's a new transition. Production has improved, and we're here for the final battle, the final dance for the Premier League playoffs of Division 4. Of course, amazing performances that we saw yesterday. If you weren't able to tune in, B5 were able to 2-0 both series very, very cleanly, very nicely. Some absolute stomps, which it was something to witness, and the production was definitely lower back then, but now we've improved on that aspect, and we plan to continue improving best we can. Today we face off against Yamaguchi Platypus. Not too sure about that team. I don't know much about them, but they made it here, so they have done as well as us as much as it goes for the playoffs. So curious to see how they face up against the boys. As B5, I mean, yesterday every single player just seemed to be playing to the best of their ability. They were having an absolute fantastic performance overall, and yeah, you can't really complain when you see that. Now, today there might be there's been some roster issues, so to speak. One of the players on the side of B5 doesn't seem to have appeared just yet. Maybe they are going to arrive last minute, but to our knowledge, not here right now. So we're just looking at substitute options, and hopefully we're still able to see an amazing performance, and hopefully this doesn't hinder their chances. Now, obviously, if we win this game, then that's it for today, and it for a while, I imagine, as B5 will get promoted into a Division 3, and yeah, that's the beauty of it. However, on the off chance that we do lose, I think we end up in the lower bracket, where we will be playing a best of 5. So that's going to be a bit of a stressful one. I don't think this upper bracket one's a best of 5. I might be tripping. It is. So all the finals are best of 5. So this one's going to be a best of 5. My bad. I thought it was not. But oh my god. But yeah, we'll end up in the lower bracket for a best of 5, where we will play. To be determined, really. But yeah, that will end up being on the 13th. So plenty of time until that happens. It'll be happening next Saturday, essentially. So hopefully all things go well today. We're able to take the win. But on the off chance that doesn't go to plan, then it's best to be prepared. Now let me just check something here. I say production was, but I mean this is far better than yesterday, to be fair. But yeah, Yamaguchi Platypus should be interesting to see how they fare, as a lot of the teams yesterday and before really struggled. Okay, well, it seems we're going to have a stand-in for support, and Binford, the support from yesterday, is going to be going in the jungle. Now, I don't know how good Binford is at jungle, but yesterday on support he had an absolutely amazing performance. So I'm hoping he is able to keep that in his jungle role. So, yeah, obviously Joshi was a star player yesterday. He had an amazing performance overall. So I hope that this doesn't affect the balance of the team or anything like this. It would be quite an unfortunate thing if that were the case, but hopefully all is good and nothing like that happens. But we can only wait and see, as we wait to get in the lobby. Should be about a minute away now. I'll do some little investigating of our opponents to get some information for you all. Let's have a look. So Yeah, so it seems they 2-0'd their way here as well. Oh, this one was a forfeit, and that one was a forfeit. So, yeah, I'm not too sure about our opponents. They won by 2 forfeits, which is obviously not great. So they're not going to be as warm. They're not going to be as experienced, let's say, in this playoffs. Obviously, B5 played both games, and they got to sort of wave off any nerves they might have had, but they went into it seemingly very confident. And let's hope that Yamaguchi can do the same and put up a good fight. It seems they have Cactus in the top lane, Rico in the jungle, Phaela number 1 in mid lane, Zengzo on ADC, and Richie on support. But it seems that the ADC... No, okay. This is just a weird game submission. What the hell? But yeah, it seems the ADC seems to like a bit of Caitlyn, the mid laner, obviously playing the classic mages. The jungler playing the, OP junglers in Zhao, Trundle, and a tank top. It's a pretty classic team nowadays, and obviously B5 also follow under similar principles. Oh, they have a Gwen jungle player. That's interesting. And a Poppy support. So a little bit of diversity here. A Rengar jungle player as well. Okay. No, they do have a bit of spice to them. Yamaguchi, so should be interesting to see these things. Now, got the lobby code. Ta-da! And go straight to the viewing. And all should be well. No draft yet, obviously, but I'm sure we'll get into that soon. I'm just going to switch to the live data here and double check all this. Okay, got to find out what side we are on. Seems for the first game we will be going for the blue side. It's been quite prioritized, I feel like. I feel like B5 haven't really cared where they end up. They've just sort of been like, yeah, we'll go that side, why not? Whatever you guys don't want is what they seem to take. But yeah, as I said, amazing from... Why am I getting friend requested? I'm just a humble caster. I'm not one of you amazing players, but yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. Obviously, what side we pick is to be determined. But great performance all around yesterday from the side of B5. So I'm hoping those performances continue. Today, of course, and obviously with Div4 in the jungle, it's going to change a bit of the flow, a bit of the dynamic. Joshi being, one of the key players, one of the star players, and it takes, as I was saying yesterday, it takes all 5 players really to come together when it comes to League of Legends, especially to play the way they were playing yesterday. So hopefully Div4, with his shot calling capabilities, and he is a coach actually, not necessarily wanting to play, but obviously still need to find somebody to fill that support role properly, and he's having to fill jungle now, which is not ideal. But I'm sure we'll do fine. At the end of the day, I talked to Div4 yesterday in an interview at the end of the match, at the end of the matches, the end of the day. And he spoke about how confident he was going into things. He said, if I wasn't confident, I wouldn't do it. So I'm sure he's confident now that he's got the capability to jungle here. At the end of the day, if you're a coach, you've probably got the knowledge necessary. It's just about whether he's going to be executing what he aims to do very effectively. So the game is a little late. 5 minutes, but it's okay. I think still sorting sides. Maybe giving Joshi one last chance to arrive. Or maybe he has arrived. I will inspect. He has arrived. Yeah, okay. So, don't worry. Don't fear. Joshy is here. A little bit late, but we can forgive him. I hope that they're able to get him in the lobby and be all ready, unless he's joined the call just to say, hey guys, I can't play. Hopefully it's nothing like that. But I will try and keep you updated with any information I receive. And only time will tell, really. Still waiting for the full go-ahead on the game. So Div4 likely to go back into the support position, or they're going to let the substitute support maybe just play anyway. And Div4 will take his coaching role completely. But we will have to see on that one. I do apologise for the delay, but sometimes things like this happen. Unsure exactly what has delayed Joshy here, but hope it was nothing too, unfortunate or upsetting, to say the least. Because anything can happen day to day. So I do hope all things are okay for him and he is going to be able to go ahead and play this game out. Not sure how long we have without them just claiming an FF. But... Oh my god. I apologise. That one snuck out of me. Yeah, not sure how much time we have. I imagine not the most amount of time. It's usually like 15 minutes, give or take, that leagues tend to give for a team to arrive. So hopefully we are able to utilise that time and get the ideal roster that we want, whatever that may be. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But I hope you guys are having fantastic days. I hope you are all excited for some games. I am too, which is why I want this to go through no matter what. Because at the end of the day, if we don't see any gameplay, then what are we here for? But yeah, seems like no updates thus far. Yeah, curious what they're going to do in terms of roster. I assume they are just going to play what they played the past 2 days, as that went really well. There were some amazing plays, to say the least, I think. In fact, maybe I can bring some up to show you. This might be a little scuffed, actually, so bear with on this one. I'm going to aim to find a good video. I do have some replays from yesterday after all, so I shall mute up and let those run if I am able to find them. So bear with me on this note. Okay, first up here, I will sort of let it play out. Hold on.
Alright,
so here's where the first kill of the first,
the
first,
God forbid,
second
League of
kill
Legends
of the first game, the one that
recent
sort of
camera
spiraled
work. It
things.
seems to be
Joshy
going hit
able
on
to
the
catch the
Karma,
Karma,
the
overplaying her
flash,
hand a
get the
little bit.
stun, the Braum passive
able to
too,
take
and the
it down, in
Karma
fact,
tries to
Trisha
flash away, but going to be caught by
got
one of the
kill on that one.
Honourables.
It's quite
That's going to be a
well
kill going
executed
over
from
to
the
the
boys,
side
knowing to punish that Karma. The Karma
of
very much
Crusher.
overstepping her bounds, and
Trundle is way too
later on in the
tanky
game,
to be taken
Div4, you
down
know, he's calling to
with
play
the
this
ultimate
slow
to
after
utilise, but
a pick onto
it
Josh
seems
from
that
the
Div4
opponents.
wants to
He
fight this. The
looks for
Yunara
the
has
ult
arrived.
on
The
the
ultimate
Karma,
is up, and we know
obviously
what
Crusher
Yunara is
is in the
capable of doing. We're
vicinity.
going to be all in.
Flashes
Beautiful
burn,
W there, going to
beautiful
secure the
W
kill
there
on the
from Crusher,
Kai'Sa.
able to claim the kill
And forced
onto
back
the Kai'Sa.
is the
So
Trundle
can't really
and
complain about the performance overall
and
there.
Nakama forced to flash away. Beautiful.
On normal, okay.
That
So
they are forced to
game
use
2
songs, but
onwards
STGS,
will be
he's
played
hunted
by
that Trundle
Joshy,
down.
but
He
for now
knows
it's going to be the
that
original
no jungler
thing.
base is like that when they have a camp
of,
up, and he's going to be
Binfoot
caught
in the
for
jungle,
his greed on trying to get his
and
Gromp,
then
and SCGS taking over the map, but also
yeah,
Binfoot,
Colopac,
Crusher,
I think it is,
and
in
Yami able to
support.
turn what looked like a bad play
So,
into an
curious how that's going to
Capella
go,
is used. They're going in on
let's
the
keep
volley,
going
but I
over
don't
what
think this
happened
volley's dying
yesterday. A
with
few
ult
more
and flash up.
replays here
Bit of
for
a
you all.
desperation
Obviously,
play.
the
Now they're
dive
gonna be
here
forcing the top
on STGS
tier
is having an
one, but I think it is
absolutely
defendable
amazing
considering the
game.
fact
And one after this, you definitely should have
Joshy
seen.
is in the vicinity, but they
Sion
probably expect him
was
to be on Drake
deadly.
here, and the ultimate going to be used. The dive is going to be
Of course,
successful
here he
with the
gets
side of
absolutely
Backstreet Boys,
dove.
but it's not enough. Kaisa going to be
Joshy
ulting
is
in, the
there to
Cho'Gath
support
goes
him, able
down,
to get the kill
and
over
Joshy is
onto the
not finished.
Cho'Gath.
He's going for more weak side
And
jungler
looking for
forced
the Trundle. The
to
TP
retreat.
comes in from
Joshy
Yami. He's looking to
trying to
hunt
get
them
more
down.
of
The flash forward
from
comes
Crusher. He's
Crusher.
going
Maybe
in,
a
he's
little bit
flashing deep.
overzealous.
He uses the W, but
Yes,
not
he
able to
does
skill
fall
much.
down
Barrier
to the Victor
utilised, but
ultimate,
ult from
and then
Victor going to be claiming that kill.
Joshy
Lots of
also having to
shutdowns
walk
and going
back, but
to the side of Backstreet Boys.
This is beautiful
Yami
from
going to secure
Yami.
the
Just
kill
very
here
clean
on
movement,
Karma.
very
Not a skill shot
clean.
missed there.
Skill shot usage.
And Victor and the Trundle are going to be forced to retreat. And that was quite the eventful fight.
So let's see. Do I have any more? Do I have any more to show you all?
For something,
I have
but
one more.
going to find absolutely
And
nothing.
the Nautilus
Yami
looking for the
is out
Talia
there.
after this game was absolutely
Well,
blown
Yami
open, as you can
is
see
gonna
at
have
the
a lot of
top.
gold in his pockets. He is going to base. He has the
12k
TP up,
gold lead.
so it does not matter.
And here you can
As
see some of
Joshy going to be finding the
STGS's
Nautilus.
Sion.
The Nautilus cannot
walking
walk
way
here.
too
Has
deep for
not
vision
got his
with
team with him.
none of
Needs
the
to
team
wait.
around, so he ends
And
up going
he will
down
be going
quite
down
swiftly.
very quickly.
And they still
SCGS
try
though has walked
to play the fight. Oh, this is
to the rest of them, but
the Binfoot.
I don't
Leona
think he
ultimate,
cares.
as you can see at the top
The
there.
Scion goes where he
Apologise
pleases,
for
and
not
the
being
ultimate
zoomed
from
out when watching
Binfoot
this, but
going to go straight
beautiful
onto the
Leona
back line.
ultimate
Both
able
of
to catch
them
the Kai'Sa.
absolutely
And the
obliterated by
Orianna straight in the
Joshy.
middle.
And this
And they're
is
able
an
to wipe that
absolute
fight
wipe
and then
from the side of
slowly end the
D5. Maybe
game
going to be able
afterwards.
to end the game here on the mid bot wave.
Absolutely
Or
wonderful
at least get these two inhibitors.
from them.
My goodness.
Wait, am I the
what
wait? Is the volume
flawless
playing?
execution.
Wait, is the
in
replay
that
playing
fight.
audio?
I'm going to save that replay.
I apologize for that. It didn't show as any audio was playing. Oh, I do hate OBS sometimes. Okay, well, I apologize for breaking your eardrums. Yeah, I do apologize for that. I didn't think that the replay would bug out the way it did. I just intended to show a few moments from the previous day.
And on the wave. So
Okay, I was just checking what it sounded like on stream. There are two voices. I am sorry, Ale. I am sorry. Hopefully we should be in the game soon. I do apologize for the long wait. I think it's going to be kicking off anytime soon as we claim the blue side of the game, and it seems we'll be going straight into draft. Hi again, it's me. Oh, whoa, whoa. Wrong sides, hold on. Bear with me, bear with me. There we go. Wait, what? That isn't right. Right, well... this is not something I expected, so I apologize for that. Doot, doot, doot. And then Yamaguchi. YMG. And their coach is not Binfoot. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah. Bans straight away. Let me get rid of the socials. We're going to be dropping the Kled Lucian ban. I think this is a little targeted probably towards their OPGGs, as at least from the 2 games I looked at, there were 0 of these champions. And then the Kale Anivia ban from the enemy team and the Rel ban. I think Colopack does play Rel. I do have his stats on my spreadsheet. But I am unsure. Of the exact stats. But they're going to blind the Yami Syndra. Yami Syndra, absolutely impeccable. Yesterday, he absolutely dominated his lane and the game with that one. Into an Anivia. And yeah, as expected, Zengzo going to be picking his Caitlyn. They do like this pushing bot lane usually. And they're going to go for the Victor mid lane. I do think that is pretty good into Syndra. Victor usually a bit of a lane kingdom champion, and then, you know, as champions start to scale into their items, he's not much of an item power spike champion. He tends to usually get a lot of his strength on the later items. His early first 2 items are pretty diabolical. But could be the Jhin response. Did not see any Jhin from Crusher yesterday. So this would be new. He did opt for the Smolder twice yesterday and the Unara. And I think that was it. But Binfoot maybe going to go for the Jarvan, as there are 2 immobile carries on the enemy team, so could be a very strong pick here. And curious what the opponents are going to respond. Probably going to be the jungle here on R3 as we go into the second ban phase. Or maybe a blind top with bans, or blind support with bans. Yeah, is the Braum. This is classic lane. They played the Braum Caitlyn quite a lot, this Yamaguchi team. So we'll see how that works out for them here. Wait, why does it still say that Binfoot? There we go. That's why I clicked the tick. Anyway, I'm tripping. Glen ban from the side of YMG. They're probably going to look to pick a Scion here on 4, as the Wukong ban comes from B5. Scared of that all-in potential from the Wukong. Obviously, they do have 2 immobile carries. He is an armor stacker into Jhin. Quite a threatening champion, the Karma ban. Coming from the side of YMG, Karma and Jhin would be quite a hard lane for the Caitlyn Braum to dominate. And that is mainly what you pick Caitlyn for, is just to have a pushing lane that is hard to do much about. And the Xin Zhao ban as well from B5, targeting a lot of the meta junglers. Not likely to see anything like a Trundle here. It could be a Poppy. Poppy here on 5 doesn't look horrendous. But they're going to go for Nidalee. The jungler, Phelan number, seems to like his carry junglers. So they see a Rengar game from him. And obviously now picking the Nidalee. Planning to hopefully get ahead and snowball out of control in this game. But we'll see how Binfoot deals with that. Obviously not on his main role. As the Bard, picked by Colopack. I think that is one of his primary picks. And obviously Bard Jhin. I mean, this team comp has a lot of pick potential on the side of B5. Whereas YMG just sort of opting to fist fight a little bit. Obviously in the late game you have the Nidalee E onto the Caitlyn, which is going to give a nice attack speed buff. And the Ambessa now from the side of B5 going on to STGS, who had a... Oh, never mind. They're going to opt for the Scion. STGS had an amazing game on Scion. Gwen is banned. So one of the main counters gone. And hopefully not a GP, but the Aatrox will be picked by the side of YMG. YMG's draft definitely seems a little bit all over the place. B5 definitely have an identity here. They just want to find someone and kill them. And there are a lot of squishy targets on the side of YMG to kill. I don't know how Aatrox is going to play this game. This looks absolutely horrid. There's so much mobility. Only Sion is going to actually be okay to play against. But yeah, we'll see what happens exactly. Obviously, we're going to have some spectator delay. But we can talk about the draft in the meantime. But yeah, B5, amazing pick potential. Jhin Bard, it is a bit of a classic. They've got some decent power in lane. They have double ranged. Maybe going to be able to get that level 2, but not too sure. As Caitlyn, one of those champions that kind of just gets pushed no matter who she's with. Then the Syndra, Yami Syndra, it's his best champion. So it seems at least that he's played, at least in the competitive light. Very, very good Syndra player here. And yeah, looking forward to seeing if he's able to keep up that performance or whether that was just a bit of a fluke we saw yesterday, but I very much doubt it. And obviously Div4 on the Jarvan, very easy champion to pilot, very effective, really, no matter what you do. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly this all goes. And curious to see how the Nidalee survives this game and how she fares. Obviously not a champion we often see in the meta anymore at all. STGS had an amazing game on Sion yesterday, so curious if he's going to be able to repeat that one. But really not sure about YMG's draft. I mean, it's got a lot of terrain control, I guess. And some decent bursts, some okay DPS. It does have the damage, but I'm just not too sure if a Redemption first item Braum is going to do much tanking this game. And Victor is quite a tanky champion, depending on what he builds, and Aatrox obviously is a bruiser, so he'll be living for quite a while. It's just Aatrox tends to live off of hitting people, and I do think if he gets CC'd, he is going to be one-shot. I think anybody on this team can just be one-shot by Bard, Jhin, Syndra. They don't even need the Jarvan and the Sion. Very, very terrifying 3 set of champions right there in Bard, Jhin, Syndra. I do feel like YMG maybe could have opted for a more tanky top lane, because obviously when you see a Jhin on the enemy team, you know that the ADC is going to be a bit of a tickle monster to any kind of tank. Obviously Syndra does have the max HP true damage. Is it max HP true damage on W? It might just be true damage. She deals a little bit of good damage to tanks, but nothing crazy. And that would definitely be the weakness of B5's comp. But YMG, despite the top laner usually picking a tank, not going to be doing that this time, and we are now hopefully going to be going into the game very soon. Spectator delay is over. Ooh. Hopefully there were no pauses as we got into the game. Okay, bit of a transition into nothing. Gulp. But yeah, should be in game very, very soon. And then this can all look normal. There we go. Still some scuff production, but alas. Here we are on the Rift. Got a bit of a zoom out so I don't miss any fight related stuff again. A lot of pings straight off the bat. The teams are rearing and ready to go here. So curious how exactly they're going to pull off the level 1. I would say that YMG a little bit stronger. Seems I'm going to have to reorder the panels because for some reason everything is screwed up. There we go. Okay, well, the scoreboard decided to disappear. That's cool. I love that. I actually do. Come back. Thank you. But yeah, curious to see how things play out here. Color pack on the Bard. This is one of his picks that he picked a lot when he has substituted in for the team. Div4, looking forward to see how he performs his debut on the jungle. I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is his usual main role. As the Chime Minister begins collecting his chimes and going straight into the bot lane. Jarvan going to be pathing bot. Nidalee going to be pathing bot. Classic. No reason really to go top lane here. Both top laners very unkillable if they are playing correctly. And Aware, nice little trade there from the Bard in the bot lane. Nice little trades from Yami. The poke always going to be going out. And the Bard and the Jhin seem to be getting pushed in this lane. Which is good. Going to be getting the level 2 priority. Bard's probably going to get it on this minion. Gets another stun on the Braum. Very nice from him. Surprised to see Aatrox getting pushed in top. But not too knowledgeable about this matchup in particular. Just casually farming. I think scaling is very much to be contested this game. Both sides have pretty good scaling. Obviously the infinite scaling on Sion kind of skews things a little bit. STGS is chilling right now though. He has got quite a nice wave set up. Got the Aatrox in an uncomfortable state. Able to trade onto him quite well. Obviously Sion base damage is nothing to be laughed at. So, curious to see if... Oh my god. Yeah, definitely nothing to be laughed at. And Crusher on the Jhin. Not something we've seen him on before very often. So, curious to see how he performs on this. I mean, Crusher and STGS seem to have the more unique champion pools. Nice little trade there in the bot lane. I do feel, though, that the Bard and Jhin should kind of be synchronizing their stuns. The Jhin W used and then the Bard stun used. Not necessarily working together on that one. As they try and take some vision here in the bot side. Nice double stun from Colopack. Maybe looking for a nice trade here. Probably not for an all-in unless the 4th shot's able to deal enough. No, it's not. The trap walked into by Crusher, but he's able to walk out. Div4 pressuring the Nidalee as Victor is able to walk this bot scuttle. Will be going to the side of YMG. As Yami in a lot of danger, but it looks like they want to fight here. The Jarvan EQ lands, and it's not enough, but the Jhin W is the heal used. The Braum trying to help this Nidalee retreat, and they're just about able to get out. The high damage of that spear going to be going onto the Bard, but overall, quite a close fight there. Seems B5 didn't want to give that scuttle without a fight. As Div4 going in onto the Victor, but maybe in a little bit of danger. Going to have to flash out. The Nidalee is pursuing more. Yami is in danger. I hate this camera sometimes as STGS is going to be running away from the Aatrox. Potentially in a lot of danger as the Nidalee rotates up. That's going to be a double kill for the Nidalee. And that is not something you want to see in the early game. As B5, YMG, already picking up 2 kills on their snowballing champion. And Yami going to have to be careful here. There's 3 people in his lane, looking to get some pressure in the bot lane. Is Crusher and Colopack going to be getting the flash of the Caitlyn. As the rotation up from the Braum does force her to play a little bit more passively. Sion now absolutely chilling. Going to be able to get all the minions he can here. Obviously the death early not ideal. Picking up the early Bramble. And a bit of a hard matchup in top, it seems. Early game it looked okay, but as long as STGS is able to get his farm, he's going to be winning out on this one. He is a very immobile tank into Aatrox. Aatrox loves when he's able to just land those sweet spots very comfortably. And then Nidalee returning with the Sorcerer's Shoes back onto the Rift. As STGS is putting the pressure on, can maybe get a solo kill here. Has the grass proc ready, but not able to reach in time as... retaliation here from Cactus, but Binford is here. The E lands from the Sion, able to get out of the W. And beautifully played there. Here's the Bard on the mid lane. 2 plays being made at once. Colopack looking for the stun, not able to get it. The Victor W there to save him. Bard going to be taking a big chunk of damage. Going to probably have to base as the Drake is up now. And I do imagine YMG are going to be picking this one up as Binford still opting to clear his top camps.
after the top play, but Kolopak in a lot of danger. The Braum flash onto him. He's going to trade his own as they take the magical journey. They're going to try and pursue him here. He has the stun, but is he going to be able to do it? Able to get the stun right under the tower. Pops 2 heals for himself. Walks into the Nidalee trap. And Crusher not going to be able to get anything back, but Yami maybe trying to make something else happen. Has the level 6, but the Victor does too. The early game damage from the Victor way higher, but Yami not able to fire another Q to take down that Victor. Has been for going to try and help him get a push out here, but the Nidalee is in the vicinity. And the Nidalee is very, very fed in this game, so got to be a little bit careful of how you approach that one. As STGS, again, he had an amazing performance yesterday on Sion, so I don't imagine we'll see a difference in Kolopak. Looking to get violent in the bot lane. The Caitlyn is no flash, so that is the target, and that was wonderfully executed by the side of B5. The Jhin ult utilised, looking for the Braum. Sorry about the camera pan. As League Director, loving to look at top lane, as it is obviously the fist fight lane. Sion maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Going to be hit by 2 sweet spots, and third one not going to land, unfortunately, for the Aatrox. But first strike actually going to be picked up by B5 now. I don't think this should ever happen. But amazing timing on the play in bot lane. They're very good at paying attention to these flashes, playing on these timers. Unlike the opponents we have faced before, who seem a little bit disjointed, YMG definitely seem to be more on the same page than the ones we've faced before. But still, no doubt in my mind that B5 can pull this one back. STGS just going to be casually walking away from that one. Does have the CS advantage. As so does Yami, and once again, like in almost every role besides jungle and bot, we have a CS lead, which is one of the main reasons we had a goal differences in the past. The Aatrox ultimate world ender is going to be used, going to be landing one sweet shot with a pull. It does not happen. Niall would be complaining about that one, as the STGS, the Sion himself, gonna have to flash out there. Flashes traded in the top lane, but only the Aatrox loses his ultimate there. So maybe the opportunity to play, they are maybe looking for one. Kolopak is in the top side. Binford also hovering, but he has been seen on a ward. So Cactus is going to be rotating back to his tower. Binford maybe overplaying his hand a little bit here. Going to maybe cancel the base with a flag. Or last second cancel there just to maximize the tilt. Yeah, literally could have gone to his top camps, but he was like, you know what? I'm going to flag that guy. And it does help the Sion get back to lane slightly quicker. Little differences like this do matter at this level of play. As Yami, beautiful stun from the Syndra. The Bard going to follow up. I don't think they have the damage. As the Victor, not scared to retaliate there. Able to trade at least a little bit of damage back, but overall a losing trade for him, as the Grubs did go over to YMG. My bad for not noticing that one. As STGS seems to be playing this quite well, but maybe in a little bit of danger is Yami, as he's being pursued by 3, looking for the trade back onto the Victor, but he misses the W. Binford is too little, too late, and Nidalee maybe now going to pressure the Raptor camp off of this kill. Do not think Binford can contest this. All of his bot camps up. This is quite a big problem here for the side of B5. They really need to help Yami out. Not Yami. Binford out. Otherwise, he is going to lose quite a lot here. Seems that the bot lane has rotated, but the Caitlyn also can too. But Yami going to be coming off a base, so they are going to opt to just take the chicken and leave. As now things calm down a little bit. Binford just trying to get his camps. And relax Kolopak, putting the pressure onto the Caitlyn. Holding the wave is Crusher. Aiming to starve as much CS from this Caitlyn as possible. Trying to even out the gap that has been happening. But beautiful stun. My goodness, Kolopak. He does seem to weave these Qs rather well in lane. He has found a few of those thus far, obviously. Not amounted to a crazy amount thus far, but he has been executing it amazingly. Binford looking to play on this bot lane a little bit more. Obviously, Jhin has the kill on the side of B5. A little bit of pressure being put from the Victor. The Mercs rush. Ugh. And there is a lot of CC that is mercsable on the side of B5, but if you get knocked up by Jarvan or Sion, it's not really going to matter. And pretty quiet part of the game. 1 minute for Drake is where I imagine we'll see some stuff. This top fight is not going to amount to anything, as the Aatrox tries to put the pressure on STGS. Cancelling the Q a little bit early. Playing into the Aatrox's Conqueror. Maybe a little silly from him. As Aatrox, if he is able to land these sweet spots, if he popped the World Ender there, I do imagine he gets the kill, but not going to take the risk. Maybe doesn't know that STGS has no flash just yet. And obviously STGS still has the ultimate to maybe counteract. Going to be basing and TPing top. And this is TP advantage now for the Aatrox, but STGS looking to make that not a problem by maybe killing him here, but going to relax. But unlikely to be able to contest this Drake with the Aatrox having TP. Do need to be very careful. He also has a timer Caitlyn will use to drunk out the Jhin just a little bit. STGS going to be cancelling the base as late as possible, just walking in there, then seeing him. And that is quite large. This Aatrox not going to be able to get his item and appear to fight. What is Aatrox building? He has Kindle Gem. The Nidalee looking for the Bard. Not going to be able to find much though, as Bard. Quite a tanky champion. He's having a chill time. Claiming the skull though. Maybe walking a little dangerously. The Victor going to be going down immediately. And like I said, this comp is good at one-shotting whenever it wants. STGS has the proxy. Going to be able to walk now across the map or go for the double proxy, as he will opt to do that. Cactus will be forced to trade a wave if he does TP here, as Binford looking to claim his second Drake of the game, looking for the Nidalee, looking for that shutdown. The Bard goes in with the portal. The Tempered Fate going to be stalling them out here. The Jhin ults are large, but not large enough. Yami has no ultimate, neither does the Jarvan, so this is dangerous. The Nidalee very, very strong at forcing the flash out of both Yami and Crusher. And this Nidalee is a little bit too strong to be making plays like that with no ultimates. You got the Victor, but you can't necessarily force much more without the Syndra ult, without the Jarvan ult. You have to be very careful. Hold on, does Kindle Gem go into Black Cleaver? Jesus, when did that happen? Am I dumb? But the second Drake will be picked up to the side of YMG. Colorpack looking to make a play on the Victor. The Victor still has flash though, so unlikely to turn into anything fruitful, as STGS going for his proxy. And it seems that the Aatrox isn't very happy about that. Trying to force him out, as the Silent Ultimate will be used to evade. Being caught there, and Aatrox is able to catch the wave, so proxy didn't amount to much, unfortunately. As Binford going to try and catch up. He's a little bit behind in CS. And not too big of a deal really in the jungle, as long as you're creating something on the map. It's not too problematic. Nidalee, a champion that needs to get as much gold as possible compared to Binford on the Jarvan, who is just going to be useful no matter what. Magical Journey used by Colorpack. He's in a little bit of a dangerous position. That pulls back, by the way, as Jarvan going in. The retaliation here. Crusher is here, maybe not anticipated. On the side of YMG, here comes STGS. Going to be landing the Q, but not going to be able to pursue much more. As seems a full retreat here from YMG. Going to be opting to go towards the Herald. TP not available from Yami or the Victor, but the Victor is already here, so this is likely to be given, as the Tempered Fate will land onto the Caitlyn. Flash from the Victor to evade, but don't think they should play much more than that, and Bard will go down. Binford gonna have to EQ out. Colorpack needs to be a little bit careful. Think a little bit of miscommunication. Obviously not the roster we are used to seeing here. And Aatrox, wait, Sion got his Hollow Radiance. A lot of magic damage on the side of YMG, but this is not going to help him in his lane whatsoever. Unfortunately so. This is going to be traded onto immensely. And the first tower is claimed by YMG, which means feats of strength. Most likely in their favour. Can't necessarily see on the spectator panel here. Oh my god. Yeah, well, that is a very strong Aatrox, and maybe in a little bit of danger is the Victor. No flash on him from the Bard earlier, as Yami used the E and the ultimate, but maybe goes down as a trade here. The Victor ult able to tick away, and Yami will be falling. They just lack the tiny little bit of damage to kill him before he can retaliate fully. And the Victor able to take a 1-for-1 there, which is a huge win as they look for a dive on the Scion top. The spear will go wide, as Rico doesn't plan on letting the Scion base at all. The shield and the Scion ultimate is going to sneak away there. Just about able to get out, as Aatrox now going to be trying to get the wave as quick as possible and hit on to this top tower. It seems YMG have got a plan in mind, and this is something that B5 haven't had to work against as much in their previous 2 series. But things look to be going okay, as they will retreat from the top tower. TP from Scion. Going to be defending that one. I mean, Hollow Radiance must feel so bad to buy in this matchup now. I'd definitely be an upset cookie about that one. But you know what? He has 30 CS above the Aatrox. So STGS, he's a bit of a farming demon. And we'll take a look at the gold leads. Nidalee with a 2k, roughly, gold lead. Well, it's more of a 1.3. So actually quite far from 2k. 1k gold lead in favour of STGS. I promise that Scion is fair and balanced in the way he's able to just farm stuff very, very happily. Actually a gold lead in bot lane in favour of Crusher. 700 gold for him. Obviously he has the kill. And even a CS lead now, which he was struggling to have before. But the Braum has been making plays across the map, and B5 have seemingly punished in the bot lane for such actions, as there is no perfect trade in League of Legends. You will usually always lose something in return, as long as the opponents are competent. Kolipak looking for a bit of a vision play here in the bot lane. Onto the Victor, who Flash is still not up. Every other target on YMG still has Flash. Binfoot checking the Drake. Seems they're going to be trying to burst this quite immediately. YMG has the rotation from mid lane. They have the mid lane prio. Could be an idea maybe to give this one for B5, but they haven't given a Drake before, and I don't think that'll change now, or maybe they play for the fight after. The Bard ultimately going to have to come out to stall this one out, but they do get the Drake. The Scion ult into the backline, putting the pressure on. The Aatrox is separated, but not separated enough. Tempered Fate onto 2. Are they able to capitalize? The EQ from the Draven. The ult gonna come out. The ult from Yami takes down the Caitlyn. Nidalee is next. Double kill for Crusher, who is next. Aatrox with the World End are not going to be able to deal enough damage. He'll be going down next. Triple kill for Crusher. And YMG are sent packing. Absolutely beautiful plays there from B5. I did not think they'd be able to play this Drake, but STGS coming in from the backline, able to pressure off 4 members of YMG as Aatrox is forced to flash over the wall, and it really disjointed YMG. And this is the problem when you play against these champions, Scion, Bard. They're able to create a lot of pressure, and Jarvan too with the Cataclysm was able to get the Caitlyn and the Nidalee, which is absolutely massive. Braum may be in a little bit of danger here as STGS looking to zone off the Atakan, but it seems that YMG don't want to give this so easily. The Aatrox just walking past the Scion as the Braum goes down. They are able... Oh my god. It seems that Binfoot not exactly comfortable in his smites, as YMG are able to take away the Atakan. Little bit upsetting there, as I think that is YMG. What they need to do is just walk past this Scion and deal with him later, as he is just a big, fat, ugly distraction from what you're aiming for, and they were able to steal the Atakan with that exact execution. So rather unfortunate there from B5. The Drake and the Atakan going over to YMG. But the fight, definitely an overall win from B5, as before this they only had 3 kills, and obviously now they are sitting pretty at 8, having caught up to the previous 7 kills of YMG, who are now on 9. And Yami going to be able to get this top tower. A lot of damage onto the Syndra, and it's going to be enough. The Victor is looking like the one from Arcane, and Kolopak too little, too late to be able to support Yami, as they do try and contest vision around the top side. They do need to be a little bit careful. YMG do have the objective lead, and this is exactly why they are contesting this vision early, and they are making the picks that they need to. I'm surprised this Victor is dealing so much damage. Maybe I was a little inaccurate with my analogy, where he is not necessarily a 1-item, 2-item power spiker, but the Mercs seem to help him in just being able to dish out that damage over time. Syndra obviously a bit more of a bursty champion. And no huge items really picked up on anyone thus far. 2 items on the Syndra, 2 items on the Victor now. Bit of extra mobility. Jhin, however, on the Collector IE, unlikely to go for the LDR on the next item. There's a bit of armor being picked up, at least on the Aatrox, and yeah, as expected, I do not think a Redemption Braum would have been able to play this game, so it will be a Locket Braum, and maybe followed by a Knight's Vow, helping some of the carries out. And Redemption is an amazing item, but when played on champions like Braum or any champion with no crazy innate tankiness, it doesn't feel great. Now Braum does have the shield and his W, but W that scales with resists, and his shield quite the long cooldown. So not exactly optimal, as I don't know if this is a pause or I'm lagging since the pause screen hasn't come up. I do imagine it is a little bit of a pause going on. Could just be a bug, but not too sure on that one. And here we are back. Okay. A little bit funky, a little bit funky. It's Binfoot going to be claiming his chickens. Might have been a while since he's seen these, as the Nidalee has been putting the pressure on. And vision casually being cleared across the map. Very normal to see in these games. Likely going to be playing for this Drake in 50 seconds, so the vision around the Drake going to be cleared out now. Kolopak looking for it. STGS trying to get push in the bot lane. Hollow Radiance helping out with that, as Rico able to get the blue buff. Binfoot looking for a little bit of a pick. Going to be checking the bushes with the flag. That spear did quite a lot of damage, despite the shield from Binfoot. Now, this is, I feel, where the game is decided. If YMG are able to pick up this Drake, then it does look very shaky. Maybe a little bit of a pick here from B5, but not going to be happening. But if YMG are able to get this Drake, then things could look rough for B5. Very, very close match. The Jhin trap's being laid down, and this is quite hard to walk into for the side of YMG. They don't necessarily have a crazy front line, which is why I do think just getting another tank in the top lane that isn't Braum can really be helpful. To just walk into these situations. The Jhin traps absolutely laid everywhere. Nidalee now looking to try and take some space. The Jarvan EQ after the flash. The Cataclysm onto the Caitlyn. She still has E. Binfoot goes down a little too deep from him. Yami trying to follow up. The Jhin is also going down. Maybe on the bottom side of the fight we're going to see Nidalee putting a bit of pressure onto the Jhin. Zoom out away. Crusher going to be able to kill onto the Aatrox. STGS is down, surprisingly. That Scion has fallen, and it seems B5 going to have to retract their challenge onto this Drake, but Kolopak doesn't seem to be giving up. But going to be called away from this one. B5. Very, very shaky execution on that one. Binfoot going far too deep and is punished immediately. Bit of anti-synergy. Maybe Binfoot wanted to get in on that backline while the Bardal went down, but the timing did not go very nicely together. And Nidalee going to be retreating. They're looking to play this Baron very soon, as B5 going to look to get a cheeky ward on that. They do need this information if it does begin. But all is well so far. I do feel that it is very hard now for B5 to take a victory. Obviously, they do have a 500 gold lead, but the 3 Drakes completely counteract that, as well as the Atkan, the Grubs. All these various objectives coming together does make it very hard for B5 to take a win in a fight. Obviously, the Scion is getting tankier and tankier, so as this game goes, it's going to be very nice to see. Obviously, as the Jhin gets stronger, still deathless. His Crusher has been playing very, very well. Not really been forced to use his flash too often, except in that last fight, where the Nidalee dove him, and obviously, my bad for not being able to capture that. There's maybe a bit of a pick onto Div4, but still has the flag and drag. So he will be just fine as YMG posturing around the Baron. As Yami calling to play on this mid turret. Going to be able to get the mid tier 1 as YMG over-rotate towards the Baron. And seemingly not even wanting to do it. As, yeah, top lane vibes in the bot lane. Absolutely nothing happening here. But you love to see it. Regardless, Jarvan he's just chilling, trying to contest vision. Div4 hasn't had too bad of a game. Obviously, not as comfortable on the jungle as he may be on support. And obviously, a much harder role. But, alas, he's had to try and adapt the best he can. Had an unfortunate situation on the Atkan earlier, but this blue buff absolutely one shot by the side of YMG, and Div4 not even there really to contest. Not really much he can do, as YMG really want to posture around this Baron and keep threatening it, forcing constant eyes from B5 as STGS and Cactus just going to be chilling in the bot lane. The Aatrox now just kind of ignoring the Scion. Maybe going to be in a little danger. Will end a pop, but so is the Scion. Ah, he just healed 1,000 health off one auto. Ah. No, I think Sunder Sky's fair, actually. No, yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. He has anti-heal, by the way. The worst anti-heal in the game, but he has it. As just going to collect the wave now. Obviously, losing the tower does not feel good. Aatrox is a bit of a tickle monster, though. Does have the max HP magic damage on the passive, which is maybe why the Hollow Radiance was purchased as well. To prevent that damage, really, from going through. As Aatrox predominantly physical after that. But nothing max HP related, at the least. As Aatrox just going to look to punish a little bit more. The Scion, absolutely no mana. But I don't think he cares very much. He doesn't take any damage at all. But that Aatrox certainly heals a lot, based on what we've seen. It's been a little crazy. Healing 1,000 HP off a singular auto attack. Div4 just looking to clear vision. It seems the Baron dance ended quite a while ago now, and we are going towards the Drake in 30 seconds. If YMG are able to get this, it's over. Ocean Soul, very, very powerful. Especially when you have so much poke on your team, you're able to proc it very, very frequently and get that restored health. So any chance of poke or even one-shot potential from B5 is a little bit weakened, as the regen is quite immense. Bard with the double stun. Going to go straight into the Tempered Fate. They're playing this one fast, but maybe not fast enough, as here goes Div4 on the Jarvan, but he will be going down once again. Too deep, as STGS, very hard target to kill, as the Victor ult is dealing damage. Victor is dishing it out a lot, but Jhin, beautiful stun here from Yami. They are trying to pursue, trying to play it slow. STGS with the flash in, going to be going for the crushing blow next. Going to claim the Caitlyn, going to claim the shutdown. Yami with the follow-up, goes on to the Victor. The Victor's down next, and STGS is not done yet. He wants the cat too, but he's not going to be able to get that one. As Nidalee got a lot of sustain. But amazingly played there from B5. Obviously, Binford going down did cause a little bit of discomfort in me. I did think that fight was looking very rough, but very well played from Crusher and Yami. They played it a little bit slow. They took their time, and things looked very, very good as Bard going to use the Spellbook TP to arrive at the Baron. They're going to look to pressure this quite quickly, as still some respawns on the side of YMG. But very well played from B5. STGS, bit of a key player there, was able to put a lot of pressure on. And Binfoot going to be opting for some more tanky items, trying not to get one shot in future as they look for the pick onto the Aatrox. The World Ender will be popped, but will it be enough? A lot of healing on him, but is it enough as he goes for the Jhin? Is he able to take him down? No, he is not. Crusher just about lives, and the Crypt Bloom proc is activated. Binfoot with the ultimate now onto the Caitlyn. The E away going to be utilised. Ooh, that is an interesting magical journey. And they are going to walk away. Crusher, a little bit too low to pursue, does not want to get dove, has the 802, going to be getting the rapid fire cannon on his next item. Just going to allow him to kite that a little bit better, going to make it a lot easier to evade the Aatrox. Ooh, he's going for the Phantom Dancer, in fact, to completely ensure this. And it could be a bit of a Baron flip here from YMG. I do think this is their only play, as B5 are slowly scaling into oblivion, but I think they're going to opt to pull out of this play. A bit of disjointedness in the comms maybe. Half of YMG wanting to play it, half of YMG not really wanting to at all. And we see here very nice collection of vision. It seems B5 now going to opt to start it. It is a little bit of a flip. I do think they are going to be able to force a fight though. Bard maybe going to look for the Tempered Fate onto Nidalee. It is Tempered Fate Bardal, right? But Bard maybe just okay, STGS going to be forced to back away. As Yami not going to be able to land the stun. The Aatrox, the World Ender, is dropped, looking for Binford, but not going to land a single Q. My goodness. It's looking a little rough, and the battle going to be slowing down any pursuit for the Braum and the Victor. Lots of ults used from the side of B5, but also the World Ender was dropped. Oh, only the Tempered Fate, actually, on the side of B5, which means YMG going to be starting up the Baron. They are getting it low. The Jhin ult now going to be used to fire some shots in there. STGS getting deep in, but not deep enough as the Baron is taken away, but they're going to take the fight anyway. Binford in the back line, trying to get this under Sky procs, but he's absolutely one-shot by the Nidalee. The Nidalee in the cage are going to be able to get out now with the leap, but is it enough? The Victor damage is high, but he is being bursted down by this Jhin, who is just gliding through this enemy team. Crusher. It's not even a hyper carry. That is what Binford told me yesterday. Is this man on a hyper carry is an absolute demon. But even on the Jhin, he isn't having an absolutely amazing performance right now. Dealing immense amounts of damage in these fights. Able to play so safe. And despite Binford dying a lot in these fights, and it seems like he's, you know, kind of trolling on paper, and he's getting bursted immediately and stuff, he is doing what is necessary. Obviously, STGS can't die, so it's a bit of a difference, but those two primarily just want to create space for the backline to walk in very comfortably and deal their bursts. Syndra and Jhin, very bursty champions that just can walk in, walk out, walk in, walk out. And Sion just stays in, whereas Jarvan needs to try and play in and out a little bit more, but can't argue with the results as they are able to take 2 fights in a row now. And curious if we can maybe get a replay on that, as it is Drake in 1 minute. Maybe some picks going to be looked for, but we'll be able to see in the bottom right. But this is after the fight, so my bad. A little late on the replay. We'll head back here. And take a look at this Drake in 50 seconds. Soul for YMG could maybe be the game changer that brings them back into this game that they had such a grasp of earlier, but they have slowly lost their grip on the game as the Nidalee continues to fall off as time goes on. And Feats of Strength not going to be enough to keep her in the game, but maybe the Ocean Soul is, as the poke will be thrown out. STGS needs to tank as much of that as he can. And I'm sure he very much can. Tempered Fate going to go wide of the Nidalee and the Victor. Not going to be forcing them out of position either. Binford maybe in a lot of danger. Going to be using the flash to get out STGS. The Victor is on him. And it is not enough. They're looking to find this Jhin on the back line, but they just can't. Binford has found the Caitlyn. He will go down, but the Caitlyn will soon follow the Jhin ults. Going to go straight into the Braum, and the Caitlyn will follow, but they go just wide, but not the fourth one. As he is able to claim the final kill there on to the Caitlyn, and no jungler. So you do have to be careful here, as the Nidalee is still alive. But Sion, he is the zoning god here, as Nidalee tries to wrap around the back. Syndra is going to land the stun. The Drake is going to be claimed by B5. And there's nothing YMG can do. Victor will fall despite the flash. This Jhin is so damn speedy. And the Nidalee are going to be forced to run with her tail between her legs. As B5 claw this game back in their favour. After such a rough early game, some rough moments. And some shaky team fights. B5 really have took it up a notch in this, as the Aatrox looking for the Jhin. Struggling to land those sweet spots against someone so fast. The Braum stun going to go down. Maybe going to make it a lot easier. But he's able to glide out of the edge of the ult. But he's going to walk into the Nidalee Spear. The Nidalee will take him down. The Tempered Fate goes down. Maybe this is the sacrifice that Crusher was looking to make. His first death of the game, as Braum will die. And soon Caitlyn and Aatrox will follow, as amazing plays here from B5, able to take this game back in their favour. And they will be very, very happy about that, as they are able to claim the victory and take the first game of the series in their clutches. Absolutely incredible from them, despite the roster situation. Not having your main roster can really put a screw in things, but they did not falter, and they will be able to take game 1. And as you can see here, the statistics, huge gold lead in top, which I'm just getting used to seeing at this point. STGS only dying twice that game. This Sion was completely unkillable. Yeah, complete demon champion, as obviously the Nidalee had quite the gold lead on Binford, but Binford able to provide his use in that fight of just being a body to throw at the enemies. Yami obviously having a fantastic performance. And Crusher, certainly the MVP that game. He was gliding on the enemy and able to deal an absolutely disgusting amount of damage if it loads. Oh, please don't. Please don't tell me you're not working. Okay, well, with every update, eh? Okay, well, I'll inform you of how much damage he did. Well, Yami actually coming out on top with the 41k. Crusher did 36k, and STGS playing the tank Sion did a whopping 34k. So that is very impressive. But yeah, try to fetch the stats once more, so it is shown on the nice beautiful graphic. But it seems it's just not grabbing the data very effectively. So we are going to have to take the L on that one. But quite the first game there. Definitely an interesting one to watch, as it really did seem... Oh my god, I'm a moron. I do apologize. Yeah, I hadn't left the game yet, that's why. But I could use my client. Okay, I'm blaming the game on that one. But yeah, insane performance from the boys. Did very, very well in that game. yeah, despite the fact they didn't have their main jungler, they didn't have their main support, they were able to perform the best of their ability, and that is exactly what was needed of them. They were able to show it very, very well. Yeah, the damage is just, yeah, it doesn't want to. Okay, well, what can you do? But for now, you're stuck with me. As in the next game, Joshy will be making a return, so we don't have to see Binfoot getting absolutely obliterated it. But very well played from B5. It definitely looked shaky at points. It's definitely one of the bigger challenges they've faced today. But I'm curious if that will continue as Joshy comes back into the fray and they sort of have what they've been working with most of the time, really. In the fact that they have their main team. And obviously Binfoot is the coach, so it's technically not their main team, but as close as they can get. And I should hopefully get the code. Oh. But yeah, that was a game. That was a game indeed, and some crazy fights. Some of which I did not expect the outcomes to go the way they did. Binfoot getting absolutely annihilated, but lacking in DPS was the side of oh my god. YMG, yeah, didn't really have the DPS they needed to finish the more long drawn out fights, and that Sion absolutely unkillable. And I think, maybe just ban it, guys. It's not fearless, and maybe that champion is just a little bit OP. It's a little bit OP. I don't know. He's definitely a bit of a Thanos pick nowadays, as STGS at least. Seems to make him work no matter what. And is just so disgustingly tanky for fun. Now, do you want to check on something real quick? I will probably need to swap these around. Okay, should all be well and good. Alright, kill. But yeah, not sure how long it's going to take to get into the second game. Obviously, there was a big delay in the first one. But now Joshy is in the building. And is looking to show his skill. Back on the Rift, I imagine. As he should be joining the lobby soon, at least. I hope there's not been problems again, but alas. Just waiting for everyone to come together. And yeah, although they had their moments, Kolopak maybe over-forcing the Bard ults a little too quick, forcing things to happen a little too fast. Everything seemed to have gone well. Obviously, in the poke war, Caitlyn, Nidalee, these kinds of champions are likely to win in the poke war with 2 Ocean Drakes under their belt already. So maybe it was the play to go a little bit faster, but you've got to communicate that with your team. But sometimes when you see the angle, you see the angle, and you do not want to miss that moment. And in the end, they were able to take the fights in their favour, despite everything, and Crusher going almost deathless that game. It was absolutely wonderful to watch that Jhin just gliding around people. And that's why I thought maybe if you pick a tank, you have a little bit more ways to walk in, as the Aatrox and the Braum weren't really able to take much space whatsoever to land a poke on the Jhin or onto the Yami Syndra. And what a performance he had as well. Obviously most damage in the game at 41,000. The fact that STGS had 34k, I mean that guy was perma-fist fighting top lane, to be fair. But we're going to go into draft. And hopefully, yeah, look at that. I don't have to fix anything. Okay, so I'm actually going to see the first bans. And the Kayle will be banned again. We just saw that man wipe the floor with you on Sion, so it's understandable they'd be scared of the Kayle. And the Kled going to be following on the side of B5. A lot of teams seem to not like this champion to face against it, especially when people are capable on it. But it's usually a Kled ban for the Ambessa. And the Ivan ban maybe going to follow next. I would love to see Ivan, one of my favourite champions. But if it is a pocket pick, the Lucian won't be going. Now Binford back on support, Joshi back in the jungle. So that rail ban means a lot more. And the Anivia is going to follow from the side of Yamaguchi. A little bit scared of Yami's Anivia, it would seem. Though I didn't see many games from him on that one. And the Sion ban maybe going to be opted for instead, as STGS, bit of a demon on the Sion. But they're just going to now pick the Ambessa, if they are able to, on R1, R2. So Huiban going to be coming out from B5. Not sure whether it's a pocket pick, but they're going to take the Syndra, Yamaguchi. Not going to be letting Yami have that champion, as they were absolutely annihilated by it last game, which is understandable. But you got to be a little bit careful. Usually, when somebody is very good at a champion, they also know how to play against it. And the Volibear going to be picked up by STGS. This is one of his favourite picks, I do think. He'll pretty much play it into anything, is what I've noticed. And he is very, very good. He had quite a few solo kills last time on it. But curious to see what YMG have in response to that. Maybe they're thinking it's a flex into the jungle, but I do not think it is. Okay, so I made a joke with them earlier when I was watching ARAM, and I did say to Binford, hey, because he was playing Zed in the ARAM, and I said, hey, is it going to be Zed support, you know? Like, terrible joke, right? So, I hope he wasn't taking me seriously. He did say that Crusher, you know, wouldn't enjoy that, to say the least. As it seems that YMG are just copying our homework. What's going on? They don't have the sound, though, so... Yeah, but they will be opting for the Caitlyn still. And the Zed shouldn't have a problem with that. I don't think the Zed has a problem into Jarvan either. I do think YMG are kind of griefing draft a little bit. Ah! Okay, that's fine. Sivir going to be picked up on YMG. That's late game insurance. Sivir, one of those champions that gets gold, wins games. And I'm sure Crusher has an answer into this, because this man has a champion ocean. As you can see, they're flicking through basically every ADC in the game. I would love to see Nyla, but I don't think we will be seeing that champion, ever. As the Jinx maybe going to be dropped here. I do like Jinx with Zed. But maybe going to opt for a Kai'Sa instead and play for that full dive. Now, if you're YMG, definitely want to ban out some divey supports. You've got to be very careful of any good engage here. Maybe a Sion, a Wukong, you probably got to be concerned on in the jungle. But, I mean, this set is probably going jungle, so anything that really goes in or is able to set up for the Kai'Sa and for the Zed you've really got to get rid of. As the Janet ban comes out, it's really kind of showing what they're planning on going here on 4. It's likely to be a Leona or an Nautilus. One of these long-range engage kind of champs to provide something for the Zed and the Kai'Sa. Although I think Sivir Shield is going to be absolutely chilling this game. She's going to be having a good time. I do think Nautilus is the optimal pick, as it is going to be banned out, and Lulu going to be the next ban. Obviously, Lulu Sivir in the late game. As much as they do have a Zed with a potential Serpent's Fang purchase, it's not going to be doing too much when they have Spell Shield and Polymorph and Ult and E and, you know, the rest. Rather threatening, as the Braum ban going to come out from YMG. I don't think that's what... Huh? Is that what they wanted? Maybe I'm dumb? Whoa! Okay, no, this is just harassment. This has just been for bullying, I think. Don't think we're going to be seeing Sona. Nobody plays that champion. So, doubt we'll see this. If we do, then, hey, colour me surprised, as the Rakan is going to be picked. I do think Rakan a bit more of a secondary engage kind of champion. Very much struggles to go in first. But he is able to zip through the enemy team quite quickly. Very good into the Jarvan and the Syndra. As it looks like maybe a Milio here with the Sivir. Going to have a lot of lane oppression. And it's going to be mainly depression on the side of B5's bot lane. But I don't think this is a good pick either. But, hey. Serpent's Fang value is going to be pretty high on the Zed. And Milio ult obviously is a big heal, but I do think there are a few better champions maybe you could have picked here with the Sivir in terms of the enchanters, if you really wanted to go on. As the Ornn maybe going to picked up on the side of YMG in the top lane. Bit of a lore-friendly matchup in top lane, as Volibear and Ornn absolutely hate each other. They are the primal gods of Freljord, 2 of them. And Anivia is the 3rd. Maybe that's who we'll be seeing in mid. Hold on. Oh. Come on. Come on. You know you want to, Yami. You know you want to, dude. Unless it's Zed mid, and I'm about to get a Wukong jungle. If it's a Wukong jungle, I think this draft is beautiful. It does like magic damage. So it's volley jungle. Gwen top into... Ooh. Okay. Okay, I didn't expect this. This is a cool turn of events. Very nice drafting here from B5. Credit where credit is due. Still lacking a bit of that long range engage. Which I think is going to maybe hurt a little bit. But they do have decent poke. You have the Zed. You have the Kai'Sa, even with W's. Do quite a bit, especially with her current build. And Gwen going to be running in with the volley. And the Rakan maybe going to be able to follow off of them. But, I mean, it's not amazing disengage on the side of YMG. They mainly got the Scatter the Weak on the Syndra. It's going to be helping out with that. And obviously, Spell Shield Sivir, Ult Sivir. Ornn maybe going to be able to stall a lot of time. I mean, they do have a really good disengage now. I don't know. This might be a close one. I think YMG have cooked up something quite nice. They copied a bit of our homework. They got the Jarvan, they got the Syndra. And they went for the Ornn in the top lane instead of the Sion. And for the Milio and the Sivir. I think Sona. Sona would have been better than Milio, but hey, nobody plays that champion. But curious to see how this goes. I definitely think Crusher would have preferred a more a different kind of carry. Originally was hovering the Jinx. And I do think that would have been okay. Not too sure. They do lack a little bit of frontline, but they should be okay. Walking into the enemy team is still quite scary though. So curious how that goes. In the meantime, we have 1 minute spectator delay. I really need to pee. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to depart for a wee second. And I will be back with you for the games. thank God there hasn't been a kill yet. Sorry, folks. Duty calls. And it seems we're already looking for a ward on the top side. And flash is already been used. I'll try and get this information on your screens ASAP. As we are now looking at the game. Ward has been cleared. No information given. And 1 CS, 2 STGS. The CS god. He's got the new skin. I do like the new skin on the Gwen. Very, very nice. And flash burnt by the Jarvan. So, not one of us. Beautiful. Need to fix this again. I don't know if they're just not in order or what, but... Oh, man. I don't like this thing sometimes. As the Gwen going to be trading on to the On. Horrible matchup for On, so have fun, mate. Obviously going to have to stack a lot of MR in this matchup. The Rakan looking in for the W. Trading on to the Sivir, the shield, and the retaliation, though. Going to deal quite a substantial amount of damage. And it is B5 who are 1-0 up. Matchup in mid is pretty chill. Not chill early for Zed, but he is just a bit of a farming early champion. A lot of these assassins are very punishable early in lane, which is why they have been shifted to the jungle a lot to make them not completely useless. Oh, and we got a pause. Let me investigate. Okay, somebody's lagging. But yeah, Zed, not necessarily a champion that's really played in mid anymore because he sucks at laning early levels. And why lane early levels if you suck at them? Like Sion, like not like Sion, like Mundo, like Zed, like Kiana, all these champions that are being moved into, well, that are really good in the jungle. They're really good because they can clear and they don't have to lane. And they suck at laning. So, well, early levels, right? Obviously, Mundo becomes a bit of a demon. But if you're able to do that quite relaxed in the jungle, that is where you live in the life. But maybe next season things will change. Maybe assassins in the jungle will be more punishable. Or assassins in mid lane will be less poo-poo. Not sure. Only time will tell. But yeah, Zed mid, not very common. As it's just better in the jungle. You can clear extremely quick, power farm, reach your 1 item power spike, and your item power spikes. I mean, it is 1 item, let's be real. Just get your Eclipse and you're chilling. And yeah, go absolutely demon mode. But in mid lane, forced to suffer a little bit. But Yami is CSing absolutely wonderfully. So that is nice to see. As in the bot lane, gonna be Binfoot's first Rakan appearance of the tournament. Oh, we're catching up on the pause. As STGS also loves the Gwen. Very, very good at this champion as well. STGS in general been having a pretty good performance on a variety of champions over recent times. I'm going to have to zoom out because holy moly is engaging the bot lane. Going to force flash out the Milio. Very, very dangerous being that stepped up on the level 3. As STGS now just going to be chilling and farming. Scaling. And same goes for mid. But bot lane definitely going to be outscaled. Going to be the lane to play around. And they have found the angle onto the jungler. Rico still no flash. Here comes the flash from Crusher. He's going in deep on the Kai'Sa. Trying to get the kill. First blood acquired for Crusher. Next target is the Sivir. Maybe going to try and get her flash out. Beautiful knock up here from Binfoot. But the spell shield will take it. Milio still no flash. Looking to get the kill on him. But mid has rotated. Phelan number 1. Able to arrive. Now the Zed is here. And they are going to look onto the Syndra here. Maybe going to be able to get the flash. Zed trying to find the kill onto Milio. Able to get that one. Trying to look for Sivir next. But going to be falling down to the Sivir. Bit of a messy fight as the Syndra arrived. Should have maybe got what they could and got out. But could be a variety of issues. Could be communication. Could be absolutely anything. But overall, not a bad fight here from B5. 400 gold advantage. As both TPs on mid used. Both flashes on mid used. Flash barrier on bot. And yeah. Everyone burnt their sums. Is the consensus there. And overall equal kills traded. There's maybe in a little bit of danger is STGS against Cactus. Sorn has a lot of that early game damage, but STGS with a big CS lead gonna be opting to base here and then probably TP straight back in. There's Yami in a little bit of danger, taking a bit of damage on the Zed. But here, as the crash comes in, as to be expected, this lane mainly B5 will be looking to fight in it, not farm. And the complete opposite for YMG, as STGS going to be hitting the plate and then proxying. Okay, well, am I watching Baus or am I watching STGS or Baus? I don't know. Some would say they're very similar. Double buffs on the Sivir actually going to shift a lot of the pressure in this bot lane. More Qs, more mana sustain, which is something Sivir can struggle with early. Trades onto the Zed are landing. As Yami faces off against his favourite champion. And one of his best performing champions, that is for sure. As Div4 is looking for an angle, but doesn't see the Jarvan. Maybe going to opt to pull back or return to his team. As they don't believe they win this 3v3 right now. And got to be careful of the Syndra rotating. She is usually getting push in this lane as the Zed maybe going to look for the all-in here. Has the passive auto that's going to proc. And the electrocute. No ultimate from the Zed. Deathmark is available, but so is the Syndra ultimate. As Yami will hover, has the push in mid. Can also pressure onto the Syndra as the volley bear looking. The exhaust laid onto the Sivir. The Sivir has mispositioned and she will be falling down here just before the Drake. And first Drake is going to go to B5 this game. Absolutely optimal start here for B5. Very huge CS lead in top. And he's picked up a cull again. STGS is a big gold enjoyer. He does like to pick up the cull on pretty much any champion. Even Gwen. I do think that is completely fair. I mean, it's a free 180 gold. So, why not? And it's not like the stats are even diabolical. Obviously, Doran's Blade and stuff provide way more, but do they give you 180 gold? Only when you sell them. But it's not profit. No, no, no. The Gwen just going to be scaling. Not going to likely see much action in the top lane. If anything, it's going to be from B5. Or maybe YMG, if they ever manage to burn the STGS flash. As Rico is top lane, but not going to be looking for much as STGS maybe going to be able to get a bit of an all-in, but not going to opt to use the ultimate as Grubs are coming up soon and they're going to be looking to play them. Div4 maybe in a little bit of danger, has nobody to E2 right now, but going to be going as close as he can to Yami as they push out the mid wave. Trying to get these Grubs with the top push too. Don't think Ornn will care about dropping a wave. To secure these Grubs. Maybe they're going to try and get one and get out, but they are in danger. The ball is going to land onto the volley and the flash is going to be burned by the Jarvan. As that is one Grub. And it is 4v4. The Ornn ultimate has been used. Call of the Forge looking for the Gwen, but he misses the flash ults. As Gwen ult now going to be going down. The Ornn will be going dead. Cataclysm onto 3, but it's not going to be enough as the backline is forced off by Yami. Yami looking to continue putting that pressure on. Deathmark has already been used, but he is going to be able to claim the kill on the Syndra shortly. Auto attacks go on through, and the Conqueror Zed. Wait, did I say he procced electrocute earlier? I must have been tripping balls. As he has Conk, and going to be looking to pick up that Voltaic first item. And yeah, B5 looking a lot more comfortable with their usual rotation of players. And they are performing absolutely sublimely. And that is what you love to see here on the Rift, if you are a fan of B5. But who knows what's about to happen. Anything could happen, just as in the last game it looked rough for B5. This game could be could turn out the way it did for YMG in the last game, where they had the lead in the early and then things sort of teared off from there. And they did have a Jarvan too and a Syndra, so if there's any common factors there, it will be those two champions. As Gwen just going to be chilling, not really going to be able to kill the Ornn just yet, but the CS lead is absolutely insane, and the call obviously getting stacked more and more as STGS going to look for a big trade. The knock up from the Ornn going to be able to weaken it a little bit, but not enough, as Yami losing half his health there to the Syndra trade. And the crashing bot waves from Zengzo on the Sivir going very nicely. As a TP coming down from Yami. He's going for a bit of a flank on the Syndra. Could be in a bit of a pickable, but the Cataclysm comes down in bot lane as Yami, as I was saying, able to find the death mark, able to find the Qs. The shurikens land, and everybody is getting a bit of bread right now. And only in bot lane was there a losing situation. There's a death mark from the Zed. He's hit his one out in Power Spike, and now it's time to really snowball off of it, as STGS also in this beautiful matchup. I do think that if YMG are comfortable, they should lane swap, as this Ornn is not going to be able to play the game. And it would be optimal to allow, obviously, the bot lane having a fine time, but they could have an even better time against just a singular Gwen. So I do think a bit of lane swappage would be a really nice hit. You will definitely want to mismatch, as the Ornn may be overstepping here, trying to put pressure on STGS. Has been baited by the juicy looking Gwen, as Joshi is going to whack him up. Utilizes the Q, getting a lot of damage out. Has the ultimate, so they could look for the dive here. Maybe going to be a solo dive from Joshi as he hits the tower. Maybe in a little bit of danger as the two primal gods face off against each other. But he's just going to call for a base. As Kai'Sa and Rakan, a little bit weak-sided, and Crusher's stats, as I've mentioned in the past, not favourable when he is behind early, but right now he isn't even behind, so he's just having a chill game. Everybody else is very majorly ahead, and this Drake could just be bursted down without a fight from B5. I think maybe not in the comfortable position really to face it, and they're fine with giving it. It's very good to have such discipline on a team. Sometimes you can lose games over trying to force fights around objectives. And sometimes you can win them too, but B5 not feeling like that was going to be the outcome of that one. Despite a 5k gold lead, a lot of it is in the top lane, in the mid lane, who weren't necessarily ready for that. And obviously, ultimates, very integral to the team. Not sure what the state of them was, but only time will tell. Gonna have to get that mid wave. It's the Zed. Top tower is claimed by the Gwen, and that is gonna get them the feats of strength, I do think. I know for sure, and yeah, I mean that is nice to have on the side of B5. Obviously, I didn't make a change for YMG in the last game, but you do have the late game insurance in this match with the Gwen, the Kai'Sa. They do a lot of damage as the game progresses. Binfoot, he's just a human ward, even though he's got one right next to him. He's looking around and maybe looking for an invade onto the Jarvan here with Joshi. These two are great at working together. It's very important in a team that support jungle work together. The Rakan ult is utilized, and the Jarvan EQ going to be used to get out. Call of the Forge God is going to make some space. Rakan ult for the Ornn ult will be a very, very worth trade for the side of B5. As Ornault, very, very impactful, as it seems they have forced a swap here. Going to be looking to get the Herald very soon. I do wish that my graphic displayed that, but that will come in time, folks. As, yeah, another pause. And the chat's showing. Hello. Yeah, very, very good games. Very good gameplay so far from B5. Obviously looking a lot more comfortable with the likes of Joshi in the jungle rather than Binfoot. Not to say Binfoot didn't do a good job, but obviously a lot nicer to have your main man in the jungle. It's what you've been practicing with as the pause catches up here. Just bear with it. It'll only take a few seconds. Very short pause. And the gold lead now 7,000 in favour of B5. This Gwen is very strong. Could probably walk down this Sivir with some support. STGS having 2 amazing games today so far. And Crusher also crushing it, and Yami. But could be a dive here on the Gwen. He's going to go all in onto the Sivir, but the Milio ult is used, but so is the Gwen ult. The Cataclysm will drop, but the Jarvan will go down. The Gwen's still alive, and maybe going to be able to claim the Sivir too, but the Sivir flashes away. The Q going to be able to claim the kill there. Here's the late TP. Yami trying to get on his way. He has the movement speed from the TP. Here comes Binfoot. They're looking to trade onto this play, the flash forward, and the Deathmark going to be claiming the kill onto the Sivir, maybe looking for the Milio too. The Rakan knockup will go wide as the Milio flashes away, but looking for the dive anyway is the side of B5, as maybe not going to go so smoothly as the Milio is going to get a double kill. Well, at least the shutdowns went to Milio. That's what you've got to think. Is it was a kind donation from Yami. He just felt like, you know what, I'll let Milio get the shutdown because I'm playing Zed. I'm likely going to die in at least one of the fights from a misplay, so it would make sense to give my shutdown to Milio. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. As I feel like saying Yami when I see Syndra, but it's failure number 1 on the Syndra. Put a little bit of pressure on Crusher. And Drake coming up in a minute 32. Going to be deciding the path of this game, as a lot of gold has been forked back by YMG. A whole 2,000 from the 7k gold lead that was once in favour of B5. And, I mean, as you can see, this Gwen sitting pretty at 2 items. Beautiful execution from STGS on surviving the dive. I need to really get used to propping these replays correctly, because I keep forgetting. And Zed trying to get his items online, but going to take a little while longer. Cracking Ginsu on the Kai'Sa. Very, very strong. A lot stronger than the Sivir right now, that is for sure. As Rico and Joshi just going to be clearing their camps before this Drake in 40 seconds. It is a Mountain Soul this game. And I think either team would be pretty happy to have this, but I do think YMG would love to see some Mountain Drake, not even Soul, but if they just got the Drakes alone, they'd definitely be having a great time. As the Ornn just gets a free 5% armor and MR extra. And he does build a lot of resistances. And feather number 1 going to be collecting the wave on top. Has the TP for the Drake. STGS also ready to do exactly that, as the Herald is taken by Joshi. He's going to be driving straight through the Ornn, straight through the Jarvan, straight through the Sivir, straight through the Milio. It's a bowling strike, and he's going to ult in on the back line. Yami following up, and beautiful Ornn ult can maybe turn the fight. Call of the Forge God was absolutely huge, but Crusher's alive. He's trying to fight it out all on his own, but he is not going to succeed as the Ornn chases him down. Maybe he's able to survive just a little while longer, but I do not think he'll be getting away from the 4 pursuers, as the TP top from the Ornn to defend the top tower. And my god, that looked like a good fight from B5, but it soon turned sour, as we see YMG just going to pick up the Drake. And I have saved the replay now, so we can look at that one once again. As we can see here, Herald is dropped. And it starts getting chunked out, so Joshi, he opts to go in. We can hear the noise from the current game, so I will be muting that for now. As, yeah, it looks like a great wombo going on, but the Call of the Forge God just gets 3. And they're just perma-stunned in this one area in the Cataclysm. Lots of AoE damage from YG landing successfully. And that really turned the fight around in their favour. Oh, wrong button. So, yeah, that is the real game changer there, is the Cataclysm, the Call of the Forge God. Absolutely wonderful from the side of YMG. Really shifting the balance in this game, getting them that Mountain Drake, making that one just a little bit tankier. And the Jarvan too, as he will be picking up more defensive items as the game progresses. And only a 4k gold lead now in favour of B5. It is still on their predominant carries, unlike on the side of YMG, who have a lot of gold on their Milio. 1.4k gold lead. It's a 1k gold lead to Crusher. 400 gold lead to Yami. A 600 gold lead to Joshi. And an absolute whopping 3.6k gold lead to STGS. But again, this is sometimes just the case when you're playing on. You have to bite the bullet of the team, especially into a Gwen. But you definitely want your Gwen to be strong this game. She's going to be the only one that can really chew through this on as time progresses. Binfoot looking to find a pick anywhere he can. Going to be dropping wards in the bush. Going to be contested by the Jarvan. Has the W, so he does not care. And he's very happy to contest this as Joshi comes flying in on the volley bear looking for the Jarvan. That is a big pick, and it's going to be straight into the Atcan. Beautiful pings. They don't look for more. They don't greed. And this is something you don't see in solo queue, is usually the players get one kill and they turn into rabid dogs for more, but Yami, you didn't have to do that, mate. Your team's already got the Atcan. It's Call of the Forge God. A bit of a desperate attempt to steal the Atcan, but Yami, absolutely wonderful play in the bot lane with the Z. Very, very clean. Uses the ultimate and just, you know, Z things. Why not? We'll save a little replay of that one as well. Just so we have something to look at in the meantime, as time will tick away. Base cancel there from the Sivir. But we can see this pick as well onto the Jarvan. Very nice, quick. No worry about using ults. Rakanal immediately popped. Knows he can secure that kill. And straight into the Atcan. Wonderful calls. Yami has a Serpent's Fang. And he's willing to take the fight. But could be a fight here now in top. But the one is just going to back away from the Gwen. But look at this. Flashes forward. Ults. Uses the W's very nicely. Lands all the Qs. Guaranteed. E. And what can you do? A Syndra there. Very, very brutal from Yami. And, yeah, he's going to be getting stronger and stronger this game. But this Gwen looking like the lethal force in this match. As well as Crusher, who does have a lot of gold himself. But this Sivir, this Milio, they are scaling. And this Ornn. And the Syndra. Got to be careful if you are B5, but you're just killing this Syndra repeat on side. She needs some cover in this game. Oh shit, that is just going to be happening on repeat. You've got to have your Ornn on bot side here if the jungler is clearing his top camps, as he's not going to be able to support the squishy Syndra, whereas Ornn obviously has a lot more chance of surviving on his own in the bot lane. As Ornn now gonna maybe be looking for the all-in. Does have a lot of damage. The Gwen is immune. Gonna be coming in clutch. The Brittle is ignored. The Jarvan is in the vicinity though, looking for the trade back after the bot play on to the Syndra, but it doesn't matter. The Gwen is too fed. STGS takes them both down. Absolutely beautiful kiting from him as Leon and the Jarvan go down, and just before Drake as well, desperate to make this play. And B5 will claim their second Drake of the game, and STGS, he's got to be giggling about that one right now. Let's just take a look at how exactly that went. Obviously, the dive just occurring on the Syndra in bot lane. So you are looking for a play on the opposite side of the map. And the Skull obviously picked up by the Jarvan. The Ornn knows he has the Jarvan on his side, and they look for this play. As STGS, beautiful immunity on the Ornn ult. Got to be very careful of how you use the Ornn ult. And just at this point, look at the healing. The redemption coming down a bit from Div4 as well, and the flash out of the Cataclysm. I mean, it was just absolutely beautifully executed from the team. Amazing redemption as well. Definitely helped turn that fight. As it could be a pick onto Crusher here. Not sure what happened there, but he got caught. And Yami going to be killing the Syndra once again. This Syndra can just not play the game. Cannot catch a break. Can only catch a fade. Is what I'm noticing in this match. As Volibear Joshi, he wants that Milio dead. Absolutely annihilating him for all to see. Getting revenge for his ADC Crusher. Gonna just be slaying them both immediately. Ult and flash burnt. And that is absolutely wonderful. Don't know why we can't see the team frames right now. But we can't. So, alas. Yeah, this game certainly looking over. 10k gold lead almost now in favour of B5. And this Gwen, a little bit, you know, Thanos right now. Definitely going to need to pick up some anti-heal on the side of YMG. And next season that will be very easy with an Enchanter support, as the Enchanter will be able to go the Putrefier, as they once did. One of the best anti-heal items ever to touch the game. And just going to be basing after the Baron. STGS not scared of staying on the map a little bit longer. This man has been on fire today on the Sion and now the Gwen. He can play it all. Really giving some Keen vibes on the side of Genji. As you know, Keen, probably the best top laner in the world. I'd argue undisputed. The Syndra's not going to get the cannon. And Gwen, just kind of baiting around the pillar. Knows that the Ornn can't do anything and absolutely tormenting him for it. And stepping forward. Does need to be a little bit careful in the mana department though. There's 26 minutes at the inhibitor turrets in the top and bot lane, as the Ornn looking for the knock-up just about misses the wall. Doesn't seem very comfortable on this champ. They're looking for the pick onto the Gwen, but she's not going to survive long, and the Ornn gets the shutdown. That's not who you want to be getting the gold. Just like in bot lane on the Zed, it's just not where the shutdowns need to go in this game. You want that Sivir to be accelerated. You want that Syndra to come back into the game somehow. As they look to make a play on the bot lane too. The Rakan not able to W out. The Zed looking for the play on the Syndra. Going to one-shot her, but maybe not the target. She's already useless and has the Zhonya's going to be ulting back. Yami is just sipping around this fight. And it's not going to matter as Joshi, the bear, is devouring them all. Crusher has arrived. Triple kill for him. And that will be a nice clean end from B5. As they claim their victory once again in Game 2. Looking far more dominant with Joshi back in the fray. And Binford back on the support role. Crusher going to be making sure he asserts dominance at the end of this one. Absolutely incredible from them. As we can see here, the damage now showing. STGS, what an amazing game he had. Yami, also amazing. And just the whole team really coming together once again to make sure they win this one. Damage graphs looking absolutely beautiful. The Sivir was dealing a lot, but just wasn't meaningful. And obviously getting your shutdowns snatched from you does not feel so good. Not that that may have changed anything, but I do want to see if we can just look at this replay once in this game. Very, very beautiful way to end the match. Obviously, they made the pick on the Gwen. They felt a little bit confident, YMG, going into this next fight. But nice EQ there from the Jarvan, but he is stunned for just so long, and Yami is just tearing through the team, and the Sivir as well. There's just so many hyper-mobile carries zipping around you. Then you've got this giant bear just eating your face, and this Rakan dashing around as well. It's very hard for these very precise champions to do anything about. They're good into these immobile carries. They're good into those sort of champions, but Jarvan isn't going to have much success into the Kai'Sa, into the Rakan, into the Zed. And that, in the end, was the deciding factor of that match. And what a match it was to watch. I mean, that was some highlights. There was some highlights of that game. Very, very beautifully executed fights. Very beautifully executed mechanics. And overall, just really nice. Really, really nice to see them all performing together. And obviously, a lot better of a performance than we have seen before in the previous match. Not to say that the first match was bad, but obviously here this time performing significantly better. And I'm just going to have to update some graphics. But it was an absolute sight to behold. That game as Binfoot back on his comfort role. Joshi in the jungle. And Joshi did indeed show his prowess that game. He was very much on fire. But STGS, gotta give him the MVP for that match. I mean, he's just had a great day so far already, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in store for us next game. He basically plays like it's Fearless, and I imagine his Gwen's going to be banned now. I mean, I'm not sure really what you can do as Yamaguchi here. Do you focus your bans on the top laner, who seems to have a champion Ocean? Or do you look to try and get a lead somewhere else? They did have a pretty good thing going in the bot lane that match, but they just weren't able to translate it into much. And that is very important, is that you try and turn your winning side into something, especially when you're bleeding so much on the opposite side of the map. And yeah, overall, very, very nice from B5. And a big, big increase in level from the previous game. And B5 now 2-0 up in the series. Only one more game, one more victory, and they are promoted to Division 3 of Prime League. And I hope that they are able to succeed. They've been working hard for it, and they've shown it in their gameplay that they are worthy. So I am hoping for a success story here. But we'll see what happens. I need to turn some lights on now as we progress into the later hours of the day. Bear with me. There we go. Alright, bit of lighting. Not the greatest lighting in the world, but the graphics are easier to improve than that. But yeah, wow. That was a really good game. Very enjoyable to cast. And thank the boys for putting on such a performance. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in and enjoying this alongside me. I hope you are enjoying the games. As, yeah, it was very, very beautiful. Flexing the opponents. But we are still going today. It's been a long one so far. Been some quite long games. I mean, 30 minutes, both of them, roughly. Not sure actually what the first one was fully, but regardless, was a pleasure to watch. And we are just going to be waiting to get online in this next one. And I hope you're enjoying the new overlays, guys. Well, I say new, but like, you know, the transition is new. Well, one of them. Hopefully, for the next time you see us, we will have our own in-game overlay. And yeah, it will look really cool, and it will be a lot smoother, because obviously right now every transition between results and this camera and then the draft is all happening on one thing, and then the rest is happening on OBS for the in-game. So it's a little awkward to kind of sync that up, and the replays as well hopefully can maybe be implemented into this app too. And overall it's just been really, really cool. And yeah, shout out to my sister's boyfriend for working on it. He's put in a lot of effort, and he's actually really enjoyed it, which is a good thing. Glad he hasn't hated it, but he's had a lot of fun making it as well. Yeah, and it's been awesome to help him and look at the things and see it progress. And you guys have seen it progress too. Seen it progress quite a lot. Some of it is just user error from me, like in the first game with the stats, but overall, very, very nice. Very good stuff. Looks very professional, if I do say so myself. And now my camera isn't in OBS, but it's in the application too. And yeah, gotta love every second of that. But should be starting up soon. I imagine just some discussion between the players before the game. But I imagine we'll be going to draft anytime soon. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Having a great time. I sure am. And sure as I am, we are going into draft. Oh yeah. Oh, wait. Ooh, okay. I thought I wasn't on it, but I did change it like right after the game. So we are on it. Kled ban. We're probably going to go for the same 3 bans we've been going for every game. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've been winning every game. So let's keep going with that. Completely valid strategy from B5. Obviously, a very cool draft that we had in the last game with the Volibear flex. And then the double flex with the Z as well. Kept the opponents guessing. And that is how you should draft, really. A lot of competitive teams don't do it. Because they see champs as very weak and stuff. And yeah, obviously Galio is one of those champs that used to be flexed. Could only really flex it into the Rumble though. That champion can be played jungle, by the way, like I'm just saying. Anybody that wants to pick that up, just make sure you credit me. But Galio jungle has a great clear. Could be a tri-flex champion. If you really wanted to. But there's a lot of these champions that are just flexible and pretty demonic. Kale ban again from the opponents, and the Rel ban. Curious what the third ban's going to be. Is it still going to be Sound? Are they more scared of the Sound than the Gwen? Or are they more scared of the Gwen now? After what they've witnessed. And the Hui ban, again, just targeting some comforts of the enemy team. Seems to be working quite well thus far. And yeah, they're more scared of the Sound. Understandable. That champ is borderline unkillable. So get him out as we see what we're going to blind. It's probably going to be the Syndra again. Okay, no, we enjoy Volibear. We like Volibear. We're going to go for the funny double flex again. I mean, this is the thing. Even though they know that this is now a potential thing, it doesn't remove the fact that it still could be utilized, you know? Still got to keep the opponents guessing as the Wukong blind pick from the side of Yamaguchi. Don't know how good that is into the Volibear or to force the Volibear out the jungle. I don't imagine it's great. I think Volibear is going to be fine to just sit in the jungle. Oh, my favourite ADC has been dropped. If this champion gets the scale, it's over. But B5 have been pretty good at closing out games as quick as they possibly can. So maybe they are able to maintain that. I was curious what we're going to see on B2, B3 here. Jhin. Crusher had an amazing Jhin in the game 1. So he's just going to be rinse repeating that. Jhin Thresh. Jhin Karma. I mean, the Aphelios blind, you can just take quite a punishing lane here. They are probably going to look to pair an Enchanter with this Aphelios. So, if you want to be able to pressure the lane, you're going to have to pick a range spot. And this is one of the good options. And we're going to go for Leona. Going to take the risk and hope to shut down this Aphelios. I do think Jarvan bans need to come out on 4-5 here from Yamaguchi. I don't know how it is into Wukong, but I know that I would not want to play Aphelios if there's a Jarvan in the game. It's just a fucking... Ooh. It's just a guaranteed kill for that Jarvan. I'm just dead. I don't have a choice. Especially if he's lethality, man. But yeah, I'm probably just dead anyway if they have okay follow-up. But the Alistar are going to be picked. Nice little peel. Going to be able to get the Leona off of the Aphelios. And potentially the Jarvan if it does come out. So maybe they aren't too scared of it now. I do like the cow. Also has the cleanse if on his ult. If the Leona ever looks to make a pick. But Aphelios definitely going to have to go cleanse this game. And yeah, if this bot lane just gets to scale, should be okay. The Zed ban coming out from Yamaguchi. They're more scared of the Zed than the Syndra. Or are they looking to take Syndra on 4 here? Most likely the case, and counter pick top. Not that the counter pick did much in the first game, no offense. But then again, Sion's out now, so... Whoa, are we blinding action? Are we blinding action? We're not blinding action. We're not picking action in competitive, are we? Would be cool to see, but yeah, no. Syndra on 4, as expected. And then you've banned out the Zed. So, curious what Yami has to answer this. There are still some good matchups. Ooh, the Sylas into the Alistar, into the Syndra, into the Wukong as well. And the Trist. The Trist? Oh, it's Joshi Sylas jungle. Dude, I keep forgetting that champ can jungle now. So, it's going to be Trist, Yami on Trist. Joshi on the Sylas. And the Jhin ADC. With the Volibear in the top lane. And they're just going to pick the Rek'Sai. Okay. Rek'Sai, obviously one of those champs that is impossible to kill on side, really. It's like an Ahri. Now, this is good, because in the last game, we noticed the Syndra getting absolutely one-popped on repeat. And in this game, it will definitely happen again. But now you have a Rek'Sai, so as long as you do those swaps that you need to do, or you just cover your Syndra, because I think if you do that, you're probably fine. Then you should be okay. It's probably worse to have the Syndra into the volley, as the volley will be able to just ult the tower. And create a very successful dive. Whereas into the Trist, maybe a little less under threat. Don't know. Only time will tell. Obviously, we have got spectator delay, so I'm going to have more time to talk about the draft exactly. A lot of scaling again on the side of YMG. Still a bit more early game though now. With the alley, with the Wukong, they can make a lot happen. Especially with level 6s around the board. But the Sylas jungle, the volley top, the Trist mid. Trist mid has been what we haven't seen in a while. Oh my god, competitive. But Trist, I think, has been buffed in the past few patches. Not sure whether it's only ADC or bot lane. ADC or mid, sorry, buffs, but regardless. Do you think the champion did get a little bit stronger? And yeah, I mean, no games from Yami on this champion thus far. So a bit of a ballsy pick. And Binfer, obviously, his Leona was absolutely fantastic yesterday. so expecting to see that. And B5 in general, got a pretty good setup going.
Oh my god. Oh. Ooh. I mustn't have slept well last night. Right. Yeah, they've got the Leona. He's going to look for those picks. Got the Jhin as well, obviously. Got the follow-up CC. And the ult's pretty much useful from whatever distance. Both ADCs have terrible wave clear. Holy moly. Unless Aphelios has Infernum, the blue one. But yeah. Curious to see how this game goes. The drafts look pretty even. It was looking even in the last game until it wasn't. This game, maybe a little bit closer. Maybe Yamaguchi have a little bit more fighting spirit in this one. And they are able to put up a decent fight. 30 seconds remaining on spectator light. I'm going to check if my window's open. I feel like I'm running out of oxygen. Holy. Yeah, it is. I've had the desktop audio muted for ages. I mean, not like I have anything playing through there right now, but that would have been bad if we got into gaming audio and I looked like a silly sausage. Alright. Whoa. The game is beginning. Viva. Just going to wait for it to fully start up, and then I will bring you to my view. Going to have to fix the scoreboard once again. Okay, we're getting a bit of an early transition from the thing. I might have to kick its teeth in. Here we are on the Rift. And Alistair down there. Don't know why this keeps happening. I will blame the enemy team. There's YMG. This is their final dance. The Ignite on the Alistair. Looking to play a little bit more aggressive in the bot lane. Not sure how good Zengzo's Aphelios is. But definitely a champion that isn't actually that weak early, as perceived. Very capable of getting those early kills. The 5-man stack, they've read each other very well. I don't know how we've ended up here, but it's an absolute bloodbath. Level 1, first blood going over to Crusher on the Jhin. That's going to help him kick this one forward. And Wukong flashing out, trying to get the Leona. And will succeed in that. Is currently 2-1 to YMG. Could be a feat of strength warfare claim here. Maybe a kill to the Aphelios. And over a kill goes to STGS. Everyone but Yami burnt their flash there. And Aphelios. Yeah, so Tristana, Aphelios, only champions who kept their flashes after all of that. What an interesting level 1 Fiesta. As feats of warfare claimed by YMG. So they're just going to look for the first tower and or the first 3 objectives. They will be able to claim those quite quickly. Longsword picked up on the Aphelios. And boots on the Jhin. 1 kill to either of them. Obviously, Aphelios is looking a little bit more optimal. Cactus needs to be careful as he comes into lane very low. Leona maybe going in a little too deep. Obviously, level 1 advantage is certainly in favour of B5. But alas, sustain from Aphelios is pretty okay, especially with an Alistair by his side. It's pretty relaxed now after that early game fiesta that we just witnessed. And nothing really changing any lane except bot in terms of itemization. Obviously, in top, Rek'Sai arriving to lane with very little health, but he will sustain that quite well just by being a little tunnel rat. Not seen this skin before. But Aphelios seemingly cycling his green first. Oh, and Syndra stun is missed, so Yami will be trading onto that Syndra. Winning out on that one.
And Felios back up to full HP in this lane. Going to be looking to poke a little bit with the green, but just can't find the autos. Spacing very good from Binfoot. And looking to get a push. Here's the B5 bot lane. The Rek'Sai going to have to flee away there from STGS as Crusher finds the W, but not much more than that, as they're going to be looking to get this bot scuttle. Prioritizing it like it's a jungle camp. Wukong a little late on his clear. Not going to be able to do much about this as Alistar getting chunked out quite a lot. Felios trying to trade where he can. So here we go. STGS going for his proxy. Joshi crossing, trying to get that double skull. And definitely can. With the situation in top. Just going to one-shot that thing. As Velios getting some solo XP. He is cycling green first. Is this normal now? Am I noob? That can't be right. Anyway. I assume it's just to play a little bit more defensive in lane. Red with purple is a lot more passive. Green with purple playing for that aggression, as STGS going to be caught for the first time on the proxy in the 2 days. Facing off against the Rek'Sai and the Wukong. The Rek'Sai obviously losing his wave. Top going to be playing this slow. Maybe going to be able to trade onto the Rek'Sai, but has no flash to pursue further. And probably going to die here to the Wukong. Yeah. But Rek'Sai did miss a big wave. And Wukong is a little bit delayed now for this Drake in 17 seconds. So Joshi got a little bit of a lead in the camp clear from the level 1 and from that right there. So not too bad for him. And STGS again. He's got the kill. And he's living life. And so does Crusher. There's Felios on the Dirk power spike. So definitely a fightable Drake for the side of YMG. Not sure whether they will opt to. Obviously, they're against 2 ADCs. So, got to be a little bit careful. A lot of good DPS in the early game, especially from the Tristana Jhin. Very strong in the early parts of the match. Obviously, pretty good scalers as well. And STGS going to probably try and get his wave pushed to proxy once again, as he knows that slightly the enemy jungler will be bot. And this Alistar's just dead. I didn't expect him to die so fast, but he's only level 3. And Joshi is very strong. They're going to find a pick onto the Alistar, and that is going to likely secure the Drake for B5. As Cactus, one of the few top laners that's actually cared about dealing with this proxy. It is on a cannon wave, so he is actually able to do something here. As STGS going to try and waste his time and force him to lose the wave. And he is going to miss a lot now. Both flashes burnt in the top lane. And walking towards the Syndra. Not my lane, not my problem. And STGS, question mark pinging the wave. Thinking, what a sausage. He just lost way more gold. And Yami going to be flashing over the wall to look for the Wukong. The Wukong still level 5. As Joshi is level 6. We've seen him on this Silas before, having an absolute performance of a lifetime. And then he's looking to have this performance once again. As vision will be cleared in the bot side. And likely going to be going for this Drake, or maybe just delaying it. Joshi does not want to give up his camps in the top side, so he's going to opt to clear those. As volley bat. Absolutely living the life in top. He maybe 1-2, but I guarantee he has a gold lead. Somehow, he's probably pulled one out his arse. Let's have a look. Yeah, cool. No, that's fine, I think. But Rico, maybe looking for a bit of a lane gank. I will try and get the blue vision. Be a bit of a nerd here. He does see the Wukong. STGS on the run. No ults for the Rek'Sai. He's just going to walk away. And this is all fine. Maybe looking to play the Grubs. Instead is Joshi. And STGS will be able to join. He's not going to have a problem with that, as Rek'Sai are going to try and trade a little bit. But Joshi, not Joshi, STGS not going to allow that, but the Alistar looking to go in here. The Wukong is being pursued by Div4 on the Leona. Yami has arrived. And no Syndra yet, but the Syndra now here. Silas still with the Alistar ult. Going to be going all in on him and is able to find the kill. Doesn't have to use the ult just yet, which means this objective likely to go in favor of B5. Alistar with 3 deaths this game. Obviously, I think one of them was from the level 1. Definitely not an easy scenario. Nice Q there from Aphelios. Going to be dealing out some decent damage, but nothing compared to what he will do later on. And STGS, yeah, he does not care about you. He just cares about the minions. He loves playing Farming Simulator. And that is what top lane is. He's loving it. And on the flip side, Void Grub's claimed by Joshi, but Drake going to be claimed by YMG here, unless they look to contest a little late. But I think they are just going to take the trade. They have a nice pushing top. Low mana on the Jhin. Going to likely lead them away. Don't think this is a great place to base Crusher. So you're going to have to walk back. As STGS maybe looking for a play on mid. Has a timer from the proxy. This won't be a thing next season. So curious how it goes. The bomb is utilized and Volibear is going in deep with it. And that Syndra will fall before the Wukong can even arrive. STGS, beautiful usage of his timer. Unlikely to miss a wave in top. And red-white don't fight. Aphelios looking to trade quite aggressively, but Joshi has wrapped around. Got to be careful. The Alistar going to be trying to peel the Aphelios. This is the hard part about ganking the Alistar, is he does have that W. One of my favourite tank supports to play. He's got the ability to go in and also to peel. And I do love doing a bit of peeling. And this Rek'Sai trolling a little bit, tanking some tower shots, but he's got his channel tunnel to get out. Just gonna slowly tunnel away, as that is completely fine, apparently, to be a thing. He's got a whole ass train network. As I think he's given up on fighting this Volibear. Knows it is futile. Just gonna try and get what farm he can, rather than missing out, as you can see here. Already a huge gold lead in top, which has been a consistent thing across these games. And yeah, going for the proxy, STGS. He's a bit of a menace for this. He absolutely loves doing it. And he able to get a lot of vision very deep in the enemy jungle because of it as well. The hell is this guy doing here? Wukong looking for some raptors that aren't even there. As he's going to look onto the Tristana, maybe looking to trade back. The Jhin W goes wide, but Tristana looking to trade anyway. The Wukong going back in. Heal used by Binford trades onto the Wukong. Are strong. He's forced to flash over the wall, but Joshi has arrived. He's looking to get Syndra next, as the Alistar ultimate is taken but not used. And Jhin just about going wide there on the Alistar. Flash used to get out by Richie. There's another great fight from B5. Not sure exactly what was being thought, as Joshi now going to go in, uses the Alistar ultimate, and Alistar is taken low. Aphelios going to need to be a little careful if this Alistar chooses to base. But for now, we will go to a little replay, as nothing should happen, I imagine. And we can see a little too deep in enemy lines was the Wukong. And as you can see, as soon as this starts happening, you see the rotation from the Jhin. He's ready to fight this. This Wukong should not be allowed to get away with this, and they ensure that that is not the case. Perma CC'd and locked up, flashing the wall just straight into Joshi's hands. And the Syndra very quick to follow. Very well executed there from the boys. And Rek'Sai. Taking care of things. Having very chill time. Not much really going on. YMG slowly falling out of this game. 3k gold in favour of B5. And STGS is a big portion of it, as he always is. He always has a very disgusting gold lead. Plays very hard to scale and just be as strong as he possibly can in terms of gold accruement. But now with the Titanic Hydra, the Rek'Sai can punish these proxies a little bit more. And Binford may be caught in the bot side jungle here. Wukong does not have enough damage to chew through that Leona W. And a bit of a close one on mid lane. And just off there, Yami trying to get the cheeky kill. But it's just not enough. Both flashes used on mid. And slight error in the damage foresight there from Yami. And Rek'Sai, seeing the steps in the bush, knows that STGS is still there. And B5, not going to let this straight go for free as the Wukong ult comes down. Joshi in a little bit of danger, but he's going to be using it too. Cyclone, not enough. Joshi just about E goes wide. Crusher now threatened by the Syndra TP. What the hell is the cameraman doing? Hey! And they are posturing for this Drake. Putting the pressure on. Jhin ultimate utilized. Alistair forcing the Leona out. He's going to be going down. Drake is secured by the Wukong. Pressure on Joshi. Joshi may go down here. The ultimate from the Syndra going to be securing that one. Yami now dealing much damage on the backline. Going to be hopping out. Rek'Sai has arrived. Maybe putting the pressure on. He's going to take down Yami next. And Binford going to be forced to retreat with Crusher. Crusher. No deaths yet. Maybe looking to kite this one. The W slightly goes wide. And Syndra going to be able to claim the kill on Binford. Not a very well executed fight that we have seen before from B5. YMG taking the victory on this one. But it's a bit of a late arrival from STGS, but it's a welcome one as he comes flying in. They don't know. And Syndra is just going to be dying to Crusher. And I don't think STGS is going to let the Rek'Sai get away. But alas, the train lines are there for the Rek'Sai to leave. And STGS now in the bot lane can get this swap going for the Herald. Wukong trying to do it as quick as possible. As STGS, he's going to go back to doing his antics, but this time in the bot lane. And an engage here as I don't think Joshi cares. He has the Alistair ultimate now. He can tank up as much as he needs to. Yami has arrived. He's going to get one kill, going to be hopping in for more. He goes on to the Aphelios. The Aphelios forced to flash away, trying to do his best to get out here, but his gun combination isn't great for this fight as Wukong forced to flash too. Why are we in the bot lane? Well, but STGS on the opposite side of the map looking for the fight, gets the heal from the W, trying to play it further, but the Rek'Sai is away. Burrow, very strong ability to get out of little pickles like that one. And sorry about the camera work there. Well, mainly the game is to blame, but Rek'Sai looking in on STGS here. I was looking to go over the replay, but seems the Cactus going to be making a play here with the Alistair. It's not going to matter. STGS has the flash, and the jungler would rather do his blue buff, which has to be a little frustrating here for the side of YMG. As you see here, the fight. Joshi, beautiful utilization of the Alistair ultimate. The Tristana arrives and she's just able to get these resets. Put the pressure on, forces the Aphelios to flash away. And Joshi still able to claim the kill regardless. And obviously here in the bot lane with STGS. But if we go back to live, a pick onto STGS, overstaying his welcome in the bot lane. My apologies for not catching that one sooner. As Wukong able to find the pick with the Syndra. This is what you've got to try and do with Wukong on the map, and this is the first instance where we've actually seen it. So maybe a way for YMG to come back into the game. They do have 2 Drakes under their belt, 2 none. And maybe in trouble is the Syndra. Silas with the Syndra ultimate. A little bit dangerous, and yeah, bit of an overplay there. Binfoot, Joshi not communicating their intentions too well, and maybe the dive on the opposite side of the map, and that's what I'm talking about with the pick. But the ultimate going to be used from the Trist to secure his safety. Yami, very aware of what they were planning there. Very beautiful vision set up to protect him in the top side. And maybe a pick here onto the Rek'Sai. STGS is hunting it down like a dog, but not able to find anything whatsoever. As not much really to go on right now. 1 minute for the Drake. Gonna likely see a big contest around that, as Crusher again going deathless on the Jhin. A very safe AD carry. And maybe a pick on the Syndra, but the trap throw there. Maybe going to reveal him. I mean, look how many Jhin traps are around. Like, what the hell? As YMG. Not in a great scenario. Red buff picked up. Shared, to say correctly. As Aphelios with the BF. Doesn't even have his Berserkers yet. He is not going to be scaling too hard in this game, as Rek'Sai looking in on Yami in top lane, but there's also a fight in bot lane. Binfoot, the pressure is on him, but he is very, very tanky, as Joshi looking to get involved, but the Cyclone is forcing him out. STGS in the bot lane on the opposite side of the map. Yami is getting solo killed by the Rek'Sai, but he will not be joining this fight. Maybe Rek'Sai will. The late TP from him. Volibear. STGS is in the backline. He finds the Aphelios. They find the Rek'Sai next. And B5, despite the numbers, despite the death on Yami in top lane, they come out ahead in this one and will claim their first Drake and prevent YMG from getting all 3 here. And very well executed fight from them. This always tends to happen, is they have these moments where things look a little bit rough. Yami obviously getting pressured in the top lane. I was worried that the camera pan would go back, but was able to work with it. And the Cyclone here and everything used to get Binfoot. Even the Syndra ultimate. It's not really something you can play more on. Great job from Cactus on getting the solo kill there. And amazing for him to instantly TP, but it is too little too late. Aphelios over positioning way too hard. Going to be caught by STGS, and Joshi, the strong as he is on the Silas, is succeeding, but get me back to live right now. What the hell is going on? As a fight ensues in the top around the Atakan. And it seems that YMG will be claiming STGS. And Binfoot also dying a while ago. Apologies for missing that one. And it will seem that YMG somehow managed to claw their way back here. Punishing STGS for his oversteps. Working a bit more congruently. Joshi not looking to let this one slide, though. Has the Alistar ultimate. Doesn't get the smite. He's still in there, though. He's very strong. They may be able to play this. As Yami dishing out some damage. The Rek'Sai goes down. And Joshi in a lot of danger. He's going to have to be back, but Yami's in there. He's gotten the Alistar. He's going for more. He's going for Syndra too, as Joshi gets Aphelios, but Syndra able to claim the kill on to Yami, who was absolutely on fire there. And my goodness, what an absolute fiesta we've been having this game from minute 1. A lot of crazy stuff has been occurring. As you can see here, they're just not willing to give this Atakan. Joshi really wanted to get the smite still on this, and he lived for so long. And Crusher wasn't even in this fight. It was just Yami and Joshi for a very long time. The mid-jungle duo. They always back each other up. And beautiful kiting here from Yami. He's got a lot of range in the mid lane that you don't get in the bot lane at this point. And he just dives in. And maybe should have switched onto the Aphelios, waited for Joshi on the Syndra. But he saw the highlight reel, and my bad again. My god, we are just fighting today. As another fight ensues, YMG taking the first kill of this one onto Div4 and STGS. These two seemingly getting a little too caught up in this game as Crusher on the opposite side of the map, split pushing on Jin. No objective in the bot side, so no reason for him to be bot, but going to have to be careful and take a quick base here, or else he may be caught. Definitely did not expect more fights so immediately. Thought I had time to go over that replay, but alas, I've got the memo, boys. We aren't ending this game below 50 deaths. Below 50 kills, sorry, in total. And Crusher, still deathless. He's just having a very chill game. STGS, falling behind in the CS department. He has had a few deaths here and there now. Getting a little too caught up. And Yami, not going to let that one slide. Able to get the Scuttle Crab. Not doing too much damage to that XI though. Needs that IE. As both ADCs work their way towards it. And this is the problem against these kind of compositions. They have a lot of DPS. And in this case, quite a lot of range. Which Aphelios is certainly going to struggle into. Of course, he has the Leona, the Volley Bear, and the Silas to have his chances against. He's not going to be able to do much more than that. And with the decent peel on his team, can maybe succeed, but could be trouble for the Wukong. The Alistair here to peel away, but Leona ult comes down. The Jin W's too, as the Wukong goes in with the Cyclone. The Sundered Sky not going to be enough to keep him alive, and the Alistair forced away. The Scout of the Week too, used by the Syndra. The Syndra is going to get caught. And Jin ult utilised. It just seems YMG are falling apart after having a few catches of their own. They're getting caught now. SDGS not going to let this Aphelios even think of touching him, as this Tickle Monster doing absolutely nothing to that bear. A little bit hard to play champion like Aphelios with support, as it seems B5 going to close this game out right here and now. Rek'Sai ultimate used, Zhonya used perfectly in time. I mean, Joshi, once again, you give this man Silas and it seems he will absolutely take over the game. Jin W gets the stun. Volley Bear last hits that Nexus, just as he last hit so many minions that game. And that will be victory and a 3-0. And a big congratulations to the boys for having such a performance in this game. They've done absolutely amazingly to work their way here and now to Division 3 after claiming that 3-0. And yeah, I mean, very, very impressive. 32k damage on STGS, obviously. That man does nothing but fight. Oh, well, I say nothing but fight, but that guy just farms, and then they fight him. So, he was having a great time. 11.3k gold in his pockets, whereas the other top laner had significantly less. And, yeah, feel free to take a look at this, as long as you like, as I'm going to switch to the damage graphs. As you can see, top lane, bit of a bloodbath as per usual. Yami dishing out crazy damage, but Joshi, as per usual, in every fight, and fighting to the best of his ability and succeeding in that, especially with the Yami Joshi 2v1, 2v5 really, 2v1, 2v5 around the Atakan. And Crusher, he was just kind of split pushing that game. He was chilling, man, but he was also just not dying, never getting caught, and that is credit where credit's due. It's not as easy as some people might think, especially in such a lobby. So, that is technically it. Absolutely amazing from the boys to pull this one out. Congratulations to them for making it as far as they have and making it all the way here and now to Division 3. And yeah, I hope you guys will continue to follow them as we progress through that. I know I will. I'll be here commentating their games and trying to give them as much credit where credit is due and as much entertainment value as possible. We'll see if anybody wants to do interview. So let me check.
We'll just find out. But yeah, wow, incredibly played from them. STGS, an amazing series. Everybody had an amazing series once again. Even Binfoot, even though he had to play jungle one game, still absolute amazing work from him. And yeah, wow. I'm just quite surprised that they managed to do it with such a strong conviction and such an amazing performance. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get an interview here off Crusher, the ADC in question. And yeah, beautifully played overall. I think we are maybe going to get an interview. Not too sure. I'll just go in the public voice and see.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and congratulations
Thank you very much.
on your performance and your promotion to Division 3. How
4, Division 4, my friend.
Oh, Division 4. My bad. Promotion to Division 4. Yeah, I mean, tell us how you're feeling. How are you feeling after all those games?
I'm feeling great. I'm really happy we could achieve the 3-0 here after we also won the other two series 2-0. And GG's of course to the enemy team. They played good as well. But I kind of was a bit worried after the first game because the first game was a bit more tough. But yeah, back then after that we could have our roster, like we played the last few series and games, and we could turn the tides and roll over them as we did before.
Yeah,
the other guys.
For sure. I think definitely you could tell a difference of when you had the full 5 that you're used to compared to having Colopack subbing in on support and then Binfoot going into the jungle. And maybe going a little too deep on the Jarvan sometimes, but it's a lot easier when everybody sort of knows what they need to do and it's been discussed and you've got that comfort with each other. But yeah, you were able to definitely show your skill, especially in those final 2 games, and almost deathless on Jhin today.
Almost.
Didn't see any Jhin from you yesterday, so what encouraged you to pick it today?
I mean, in the first draft, they went for Caitlyn, and the typical answer to Caitlyn was always Jhin. And I think it really worked out good with the Bard as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just curious and wanted to play my main, I guess, back in the days. And it was because it was a long time ago since I last played it in officials.
Yeah, well.
And what can I say? It worked out great today.
Yeah.
Both games, I think.
Yeah, amazing performances on the Jhin. Beautiful kiting, able to dodge out on the Aatrox Qs, especially in the first game, and real game changer in those fights. But yeah, I mean, amazing performance from you. And obviously, everybody on the team played amazingly. But, other than yourself, who would you say deserves the kind of MVP for this series?
So I will only include members who are here like 3 games. And I cannot judge like Binfoot's jungle as well, because he's playing off-road like first time after I don't know how many months. But in general, I think Leon played really good today with the proxies. I think he got caught 1 time or 2 times on side lane.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think he played all matchups really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the game kind of came out of top lane. Every game, at least.
Yeah. I mean, the Gwen game, wow.
Yeah, the Gwen game, he just like did so much damage, I think.
Yeah.
But also the Sion game, he just knows how to
Not
use
die.
his timers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think Leon deserves to be the MVP today.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say I agree. Leon, you know, he buys Cull on every champion he plays, always has a gold lead, and he's able to do so much, especially when he proxies. He made the play in that final game as well on, or was it? Yeah, on that game that just was played. Made the play on the Syndra in mid after getting the proxy, and he's just always looking to create something and to be, you know, a driving force in the team, which is rare from a top laner. Obviously, in lane, you don't really... I've just seen the chat, and poor Binfoot's getting bullied for his Jarvan. But, yeah, I mean, overall, amazing performance for you all, but STGS, aka Leon, having an amazing performance again on the Sion. Some beautiful team fights in there. I tried to save as many replays as I could. Joshi and Yami just 2v5ing or whatever at Atakan, and then you're just casually pushing mid lane like, oh, okay, that's happening.
That's crazy. The river fight, on the bot river fight, like the guys were going in, I think Leon and I don't know who it was as well. I think Volibear and Tristana went into B5, and like when Rex had TP'd, and that was...
Oh, yeah. That was a really good one.
And I was just like, I almost said like, it's done, just leave or something. But these guys just turned out to B5 them.
Yeah.
And, just steamrolled over everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you're so ahead. You're really good at getting your leads, and you're really good at utilizing them. And one thing that's definitely commendable is when you do have those leads, and say maybe your team doesn't outscale, you're always ending those games as quick as you can and pushing those towers. A lot of people stall it out. They don't really know how far they can push things, and you guys squeeze it very, very well. So really good job to you. Credit to you. Credit to your teammates. And thank you for the interview, Jonas.
It's a pleasure.
Crusher, great performance. Anything you want to say to the people who viewed the stream and have supported you along this journey?
Yeah, I guess thank you for tuning in, guys. It was a pleasure to play for always, also your entertainment, hopefully. Sadly, for entertainment, wise, we just steamrolled almost every game except the first game today. But next split, this will maybe be different. We'll see.
Yeah.
As we're looking to promote as well to Div4, as everyone should know. But I'm looking forward to playing in the Division 4 as well, and hopefully having nicer games for you guys to watch.
Yeah. Well, me too. Thank you very much, Jonas, and goodbye. Hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too as well. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. What a lovely, lovely man. Jonas Crusher, the ADC. The one who shone when it mattered on the Jhin. And it was absolutely amazing to see. I'm kind of terrified of putting a video file again, but I do want to play some of the replays, just as a bit of a commendation for the boys. Okay, I have muted the file, so we are good to go. Let me just fit to screen. Bam. 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 And so by date, obviously we have the Atakan fight. I think this is the one that Jonas was talking about. Oh crap, I need to put those on. Well, why is the file not showing on my screen though? Hey. What the hell? Well, I don't know why that's not working. It's very peculiar. Maybe we'll try over here real quick. Oh yeah, this one's just on loop. Maybe not the one we necessarily want to look at. This was an interesting Atakan fight though. I didn't expect them to even contest this. Obviously, Atkan does shred a lot of your resistances, so it does give you a good fighting chance. And Joshi and Yami were happy enough to kind of test that. And they full sent it. That E looked so weird, eh? Beautiful ult there from the Trist, giving Joshi a bit of room to breathe, and absolutely amazing kiting as well. The Tristana, not even with the IE yet. Just absolutely sending it. Aphelios getting a little bit too big for his boots as well. Absolutely wonderful from them. Let me just pause that one. Let's see if I can show you shared to say correctly. This, I will mute it. Don't stress, don't stress. And oh yeah, this is the fight that Jonas was talking about. So obviously Yami getting caught in the top lane, and this fight looks rough. Div4 going down pretty quickly, but they did expend a lot of their spells. Jhin ultimate going wide as well. Looks very rough. The Rek'Sai TP's in. And as you can see, Jonas is kind of clicking away. He's clicking to the mid wave. Then they go in, they play it, they get the Aphelios down. He joins back in. You can see that moment of hesitation for him, but the team and him were able to take that victory anyway. Very beautiful. And good communication all around to continue that one. And can't remember exactly what happened there. I think this might be some STGS shenanigans, but I could be wrong. Could also just be the Herald fight. As yeah, Silas, Joshi, very, very renowned now on this pick, having amazing performances game after game. The Leone straight onto the Aphelios. Div4 always finds these openings and takes them whenever he can. And STGS, just a bit of a demon. Look at how much healing. He will take absolutely any fight you bring to him, and that is why he's beloved on this roster and our MVP of the day. But we'll probably leave it there unless we have more to look at here. We'll just look at this last one. Wukong clearly overstepping his bounds, looking for the chickens. Tries to turn it around on the Trist, but the rotation from the team is so quick, and they work well together, so very well. And they're just able to find these punishes on these mistakes from the opponents. And it's just what you want out of them. But overall, boys, it has been a pleasure casting you these past 2 days. And trying to bring these games to life for you. And yeah, hopefully things get better, not only for the team, production, everything. It's a group of beautiful people. I've only recently, joined and gotten involved. But you can tell there's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of love, not just for the game, but just, for each other. Very positive people. And I'm sure they'll have their hiccups. I'm sure they'll have their ups and downs, and we'll be there to watch along all of it. But overall, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And yeah, goodbye. Have a great rest of your night.